right. All right. Getting everything ready here. I want to say thank you to those who are watching. Thank you very much. Welcome to this live stream. And making sure that everything is working. That is what we hope. Hope you all having a good night. Good evening. Good morning for some, perhaps in the other side of the world. I want to say thank you to all. Thank you to everyone that is taking time to watch this live stream with me on a Friday night here on the East Coast. And I don't know what time you're in, but if you're in America, definitely whether you're in the West Coast. Good evening to all, everyone that is watching here in North America or on this whole continent or other side of the world. I know I have a couple of friends from Europe that watch, and also people friends from Asia. I want to say to all of you, welcome, and also to those who will watch this in the future, because as you know, the live stream gets recorded, and that allows other people to come and watch it in the future. So I want to say to all of you, welcome to this. And I want to say Agent 37, my friend, as always, welcome. Thank you, and hello to everyone. Now, like I always mention, if you're here for the first time, if you like the content of this video, you like the content of my channel, you like my thoughts, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel, to leave a like on this video. That really helps this video, promotes this video through the algorithm. Subscribe, like, leave your comments on the chat. And also you can leave your comments in the future. And I try to respond as fast as I can to all the comments. I try not to leave any comment untouched. I try to leave that. Sometimes it takes me a few days to get to it, but I always get to it, because I don't like to leave people hanging. I don't like to be left hanging, so I don't want to do the same thing to others. But definitely there's a lot to talk about today. And, it's Friday, so I'm a bit tired. So hopefully we don't have a long night. But I want to utilize the time wisely. I also want to honor your time for those who are watching this, and I know other things to watch, and there's other things that you want to get caught up with a lot of things. So there's a lot to talk about today, so I want to really cover that. And for that, I always go to my list just to give you an idea to those who are watching. On the toy side, we don't have much today, but I want to talk very quickly about Storm Collectibles. They released a new figure. If you're into Street Fighter stuff, they released a new figure, so we're going to look at that one today. Also going to look at Hot Toys. They released a new Iron Man Mark 7, which is another Iron Man for Hot Toys, so we're going to look at it very quickly. Then on the statue side, we're going to look at Weta. There was I think a mini figure, a very small figure that they released last week. I didn't get the chance to talk about it. I want to cover it today. I want to talk about it today for those who are fans of Weta. Iron Studios, of course, is the last Friday of the month, so they release a lot of stuff that they showcase at San Diego Comic-Con. Highly anticipated stuff, so we're going to look at the stuff that they have. So they have stuff for Jurassic Park, Shrek, they have stuff for Marvel, they have stuff for Masters of the Universe, for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they have a Superman and Lois 1/6 scale statue that a lot of people are excited for. We're going to look at Kotobukiya. They release a new Bishoujo statue. Tsume Art releasing another statue this week. There's a company that I want to talk about that I haven't had the chance in the past to talk about. There's another Chinese company called Pickstar Studio. This Chinese company exclusively concentrates right now on Naruto stuff, and they have some stuff at Big Bad Toy Store, so I want to look at that today. Also, there's another company that I haven't really talked much. It's called, I think it's a new company, although this stuff has been out in the wild for a little bit, but it's been operated for a while. And this is a company that called District 4 Studio, also a Chinese company that is doing a collaboration with Infinity Studio and they have some statues that I want to look at that today. Queen Studio releasing its Senseiya 1/6 scale statue that, in my opinion, looks amazing, and I love Senseiya. I want to look at what Queen Studio is doing on this for this collection, for this new collection that they're now embarking on. I want to talk about the Pure Arts. If you're a fan of The Witcher, then they have a fantastic 1/4 and 1/6 scale statue. So we're going to look at that Geralt of Rivia today. We're going to look at first for figures. They released a Richter Belmont. If you're a Castlevania fan. Hey, what's up, Late Night Trip? How you doing, my friend? So they released a new statue, close to a quarter scale. If I'm not mistaken, it's between 1/5 to quarter scale. So we're going to look at that today. I want to look at Piji Studio. They released a new, for the Naraka Blade Point game. They released another statue. Piji Studio does amazing statues for sure. We're going to look at that. I want to look at Prime One Studio. They're bringing also for Witcher fans, the Cirilla Fiona that actually came out on pre-order on Japan for a long time. It's been months, but now it's available at Sideshow. So we're gonna quickly look at it because we already talked about it in the past, but I want to look at it for those who are unfamiliar with the piece or they want to know more information on my opinion and they missed that previous video when I talked about it a few months back. Also want to talk about the now they have also on the 10th anniversary they have a Devil May Cry exclusive color variant, so we're gonna look at them very quickly. My thoughts in regards to these exclusives, but we're gonna kind of give it a quick look. And they have a new Batman Beyond statue that a lot of people are excited for, so we're gonna look at it today. And ultimately at the end of the video, I want to talk about PCS Collectibles. They released a new Dungeons and Dragons Tiamat statue that is massive and it's expensive. I want to really kind of share with you what I think about this statue. So this is what we have for today. And of course, as always, you're welcome to leave your comments, to share your opinion. I covered the information, and then of course I listen to the comments and I answer to any questions you may have, and also chat with you about, ask you for your opinion. So you're more than welcome to leave your opinion. Let me know what you think about the products that we're talking about today. Also, you're always welcome to support this channel. You can do that. The way that you can support the channel, first and foremost, like I mentioned before, is to like the channel, to subscribe to the channel if you're here for the first time. Also, follow me on social media. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. Just look for jpsarri, and you'll find it there. Just follow. The links are also down below in the description. Consider supporting the channel financially monthly through Patreon. That really helps this channel to grow because any financial help really helps me to kind of invest into the channel, because that's what I want to do, invest into better equipment, better quality products, but also to do more things, new things, have new ideas in order to cover these things and maybe go into special events, all of that. But for that is, of course, we need financial support. So consider those things. I'm not asking you to do it if you don't have the means for it. I totally understand. It's not the reason why we do this for money. But if you can do it, by all means. You can also help through the super chat. Everything you can give, everything, every $1, $5, whatever, all of that really helps. It goes into the channel. So consider those things. And I also want to share, before we get into all this stuff, I want to share that I'm planning to get back on the podcast. I mentioned this before, but right now, of course, the summer ended, and definitely the summer is always busy with the family. Now everything's getting back on track, and it feels like hopefully now I have a breathing room, because I still has a lot of stuff to do. I have statues that I need to review that I haven't had the chance to review. I have action figures. I'm a big action figure collector that I need to review. I haven't had the chance. I even have stuff that I want to do for the channel, like a lot of books that I want to review for those who love comics and they love my book reviews, and I haven't done it in a while. So I really want to get back to it. Hopefully now that everything is slowed down after the summer, we can have some breathing room so I can get to it. So that's what I want to also concentrate coming forward. So, stay tuned for those things. Hopefully we can find the time and the balance to do it. Also been thinking about going back to the podcast, and in October. Right now, I was thinking to do it in September, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do the podcast back in September. So my desire now is to go back and start again in October, a 4th season of the podcast. It's going to be the 4th anniversary of the podcast, 4 years celebration in October. I think it's a great time to really do the 4th, start the new season, which is the 5th season. And we'll see how it goes on the new year after, we've been doing this for 4 years. So 200 and how many episodes? 206 or 220 something? I don't remember now. But we're going to kick it back and start again fresh. And, I want to do more interviews. And of course, a lot of people that I've been reaching out, a lot of artists and people that I know to do with me. Many people have signed up to do the podcast, but of course it's the summer, so a lot of people are invested with their families, and a lot of things going on this summer. But a lot of people have signed up to start doing and helping with the podcast during probably the fall. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for that, because definitely I will like to do more interviews and do more stuff here. So stay tuned for those things. Also, the gaming channel, I've been thinking about going back into doing some live streams, but also do some reviews. It's stuff that I've been wanting to review for so long. but I haven't had the chance. So it's a lot of things, you know. Right now, what I'm trying to at least stay true is with the live streams on Fridays, and sometimes, you know, I have to postpone it to Friday, you know, because, you know, I have no choice, or sometimes even on Thursday, but I want to be more stable with it. So I want to say thank you for those who are supporting the vision that we have here. So thank you very much, my friends. So welcome everybody, and yeah, thank you for this support. Now let's get into the statues, and again, welcome to everybody. You're more than welcome to leave your comments, and I appreciate it that you leave that. It really helps me and also guides me through the process of the video. All right, my friends, let's start going into the action figures. And what we're going to do, I want to come first to let's see, I'm gonna bring you with me to we're gonna go to Big Bad Toy Store. As I mentioned before, right now, the Storm Collectibles, it's they have this partnership now with the Big Bad Toy Store. The distributor of them for a while, since for it's been a while, from pretty much since the start of Storm Collectibles here in North America, was Bandai Namco US, you know, Bandai Namco America. But now they're no longer the distributors of this company. So Big Bad Toy Store is taking the mantle of doing this. And I will tell you, Big Bad Toy Store has been doing bringing a lot of stuff, and also doing a lot of distribution, not only for action figures, they have done for years. They're getting also into statues. And we're going to cover some companies that they're actually distributing even before Spec Fiction or even Sideshow. So we're going to look at that today at some of those companies. But first, I want to talk about this Street Fighter V Champion Edition Juri hand, 1/12 scale. You know, this is not really one of my favorite characters because, you know, I love Street Fighter 5, you know, the Champion Edition. I love the game. I played the game, although I haven't been playing as much. But if you follow me on my gaming channel, I have played the game there. I have live streamed there, and I have reviewed the game, the Champion Edition. I review it there too. So what I'm saying is that this figure, it's cool, you know, if you are really invested. Of course, these are very high in the sense of like pricey for the 1/12 scale. You know, some people will put this as, you know, in this case, Mezco in that same category, expensive 1/12 figures, and other companies do it. But this is interesting. I think it's you know, it's cool for what it is. You know, this character was introduced. Of course, if you go back into the Alpha series, that's when these characters were introduced. But of course, it was on the Street Fighter 4 where the character kind of made a comeback in the design that she has now. Actually, prior to it, Street Fighter 4 and then Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So she was there. And of course, now you can see her here also in Street Fighter 5. And you know, she's a cool character. So I think the design that they did with Storm Collectibles does, I think it's fine for what it is. Definitely the proportions seem correct and accurate with the video game. I don't know how many accessories she has. Even when she does that with her knee, that's very accurate to the game. So it's very proportionate, the figure. It's cool for those who are fans. To be honest with you, even when I, you know, collecting some collectible stuff, I wouldn't definitely put it on my top 10 list. But I know some people exclusively collect this, so for them it's important. Did you talk about the Batman Prime one yet? No, that's not. I go by scales and I go by company. So Prime 1 Studio is technically at the end. That's what we're going to talk about it. I'm not talking about it yet. We're just starting, but I covered that pretty much because I go by scales. I don't start with action figures. So we'll get to that part on Prime 1 Studio. Technically, almost by the end of the video, that's when Prime 1 Studio it's covered. That's when I talk about the 1/3 scale stuff, and that's when we cover the 1/3 scale statues, the bigger statues. But in any case, going back to Juri, as you can see, you know, it has some accessories. This is kind of cool. They do her power right there in plastic. It's cool for the figure. I still find it expensive, though. I still find the figure very expensive for what he has. You know, when you compare this to like Honda, or you compare this to Balrog and all the bigger figures, you know, I understand the price point for them. With this one, just because of that design with the base, definitely the proportions are fine. It has some different portraits where you can change, so it's kind of cool. I would say that the price is fine. It's going to release on the first quarter of 2023, so I personally don't see the point of pre-ordering right now. But as I mentioned before, right now, the only company that is doing this in North America, unless you want to go through eBay or through other distributors that they can sell, you know, directly from there, some importers, then definitely Big Bad Toy Store will be the best choice. Plus, you know, the price of the shipping that is already included into the whole thing. And you only have to pay like the cheapest thing that they offer, like the $4 shipping price. the flat rate shipping, which is something that I would say is always good for, you know, if you're looking into big bad toy stores. So yeah, that's what it is. So definitely it's an interesting. So if you're into some collectibles, then pay attention to this one. Now I want to go to Sideshow Collectibles because I want to talk about the new Hot Toys release, which were the at least one they have this week. And we're going to talk about this, which is the Iron Man Mark 7. This is the open armor version. This is based on Iron Man 3, the movie. And this is, of course, it's a diorama series diecast. So this has diecast elements, which makes it more expensive. Now, this is not an Iron Man. This is just only in this case, the armor. There's no figure in it. It opens up and you can do all this design as if the figure is coming out. Now, there's no figure that shows just, in this case, Tony Stark. There's some pictures here that you're going to see Tony Stark, but it's not a combo. It's not coming with this figure. That actually is an older figure that they're using for example. This is just the design of looking at the armor open when, of course, based on the film, on the third film, when pretty much Tony Stark comes out of the, you know, in this case of the armor. The armor just opens around him. So that's what they're doing. This is going to release, according to the dates here, October 23, March of 2024. Knowing how sometimes the delays happen here, it can even not take until 2025. That is a given. It does have, I will tell you one thing, it looks cool, you know, to be honest with you, but with so many Iron Mans, and it goes back to something that it's always the problem with Hot Toys, is they constantly are selling Iron Man figures. It's not something that is like even so people mock this and make fun of it, saying like maybe it's a part of the contract that they need to produce as many Iron Mans as possible a year in order to keep their license with Marvel. Because the truth of the matter is that, you know, like, you know, they produce one piece and they produce 2 Iron Man, and then they have another piece for something else. It's just the amount of Iron Mans they have released just this year alone is amazing. You know, some are amazing, some re-releases, but in some, you know, improvements to these re-releases, but at the same time it's like how many they can do, you know, like people get bored with it. And definitely this is for the completionist. This is for the one that wants to have it all, the one that collects exclusively Iron Man stuff and wants to have it all. Then definitely it's for them, but not necessarily for most. I wouldn't go crazy for this piece. However, one thing that is cool about it is that it does have LED lights, and what they're doing with this, and I was looking at the notes, is the LED lights, and it has a base, which actually the base looks nice. The only problem when I was looking at the notes is that it's charged by USB, which people are excited for it. The USB only charges the armor. It uses a USB-C connection, but it doesn't come with a USB-C cable. So you have to provide your own cable. My point is, like, USB cables are not that expensive, you know, like if they're, you know, manufactured, like mass produced, so they can provide at least a charger, you know, but you have to get your own USB cable on this, USB-C, which to me is kind of stupid. You know, they should, for this price, they should give it to you. It's not going to cost too much. You know, too many Iron Mans, that's for sure. And the other side part is that actually the base requires batteries. And to me, it's like, why can't you simply add this with a USB charger for the batteries on the base? To me, it's kind of stupid. It's like this uses USB so they can charge this, but they cannot use a USB for the base. I think that's kind of dumb. They should be for both, you know, like the same charger that charges the base also is charging the lights on the armor. And you can see it's articular armor pieces, so you can close them together. You want to see just the armor. If you want to see them all just without all the lighting inside. And this is the figure that I use it, for example, but this is not a combo. It doesn't come with this figure. This is an older figure, and you can see even the old articulation. A lot of people will love to see a remake of this figure, but it's not the case here. Using, for example, here, it is cool. It's for the completionists. Again, it's not for everyone. You know, to be honest, again, with the lighting, it looks cool, but to be honest with you, I'm not as impressed with it. I think there's other Iron Mans that I'm more impressed with. I think others that they have released, like for example, like, you know, the Mark III. I think the Mark III is more excellent in my opinion, and that's the one that I'm definitely more excited for, and I'm gonna get. But here you can see that comes with the, you know, based on the Iron Man 3. And as you can see, LED lights can shine through interior armor, including head, shoulder, main body, arms, and legs, blue light power operated. Highly detailed interior armor with highly detailed mechanical design, especially designed diorama figure stage with LED light up function, is stage white light operated by battery or USB power. Oh, okay, so it has the both? So, okay, let me look at this. So you can use batteries or you can use LED or like USB. Now, the light up function operated using USB power. So the light up function only uses USB power. USB connecting this cable is not included for collectible. USB cable is required. USB-C. Battery not included for collectible figure base. 3A batteries, 3 pieces are required. So in other words, is the USB also going to power the base or not? Because say that, oh, it's gonna need both. I know that in this case for the figure, you need the USB-C. But for the base, you might be able to use also the battery. So that kind of helps. I understand that. I don't think that adding batteries will add anything of value. I think they can just simply go for the USB-C, and in that case, they shouldn't just simply eliminate the compartment and they just have the USB charger and also give you just the cable. Just, they're not losing any money by giving you the charger. It is what it is. But this is for the completionist. This is not for everyone. It's cool for what it is. All right, so let's see if there's any comments here. Yeah, there are too many Iron Mans, my friend. I'm just to the point. It's like, do we need more of these? Not necessarily. Definitely not. All right, so now these are the action figures for today. I want to move into statues. Definitely we're going straight to it. I want to talk about Weta Workshop. Weta, this New Zealand company that definitely it's one of the giants of the industry, one of the classic of the industry. And they have a few things here that they are releasing, of course. But what I want to talk about, let's see if we can see it here. This is some of the new and feature. Of course, they have always these pieces. We have to have Gandalf. They have these mini epics, which are kind of cool, but not necessarily my cup of tea. But I want to talk about these two pieces that you see right here. The Gollum Guide to Mordor, and Gollum and Smeagol in Ithilien. So you have two different versions. I want to show you this one right here. This is the Guide to Mordor. This is a miniature statue. It's very small, $119. It has great detail. Now, the artist involved here is this Bagwell Sagi. Now, Bagwell has done a lot of the mini statues. He has done a lot of the figures of fandom, some of the PVC stuff. So he's working in some of these products that you see here, which is kind of cool. Now, when you look at Gollum, Guide to Mordor, I think the price is excellent, but this is a very, very tiny figure. This is not really a big figure. Let me see if we can see it. You can see. It's kind of cool. The detail is great for such a figure. I like the little base. I've never been like, oh my God, super crazy about this guy, but it's kind of cool to see what they're trying to do with this guy. Here you can see the side of him, and definitely there's, for such a tiny figure, we're gonna see that the numbers, the detail here, it has great detail. Of course, this is just the prototype. We always have to wait for the final product to see if it matches, but I like the way even the different color on the rock, it looks like a real rock with all these different colors, different composition of that rock. You can see some green, some orange, some red, so that's kind of cool. Some blue. Look at this face, a very tiny figure. We're gonna see the details here, but I think for the small detail, looks excellent in my opinion. So look at see on the hands, the feet. I think the paint job is excellent for such a small figure, and it's kind of nice. I've seen in recent years many companies have gone more into the bigger statues, and there was a time where there was a lot of miniature stuff. Miniature was something that figures or figurines were something very common, but I think in recent years it seems like it's less common because people are more intrigued by the bigger stuff, which I understand. Part of me understands the fascination. Look at this one, but I think this is very, very good, and I like the simplicity of the base and definitely what they did here. It's a very cool. So if you look for something tiny, and here's kind of give you an idea of the scale. Look at the hand of this guy. So technically this thing is going to be, if you look at my hand, I don't know what I can do. That's a tiny hand. I don't have a super huge hands, but I do have a good size hand. And like, look at this, that is a tiny little thing. That is going to be super, super tiny. When you look at it, like, look at this. Let me see if we can get that picture. That shows you how small it is. Oh, trying to get closer to it. Okay. So it's small. That is definitely a figurine. So I understand the price point on this one. It's tiny, definitely within the 110 perhaps even smaller than 110. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool for sure. Now, looking at the other one, now there's a different version that comes with 2 different pieces, so you can do the reflection on the water type of effect. And I think that you can also hang this on the wall. I think that is the purpose of this one. And $249 for this one, which is technically the same piece. It does have some differences, if I'm not mistaken. Look in the face. Look at this one. Like I do see that. I don't know if it's the same face, but technically the other piece goes alongside it like that. Or I don't know if it's like technically you're buying 2 pieces. It seems like it's just the reflection, but at the same time, oh yeah, there's 2 different faces, as you can see, of the 2 different personalities of Gollum. You have Gollum and Smeagol, of course, you know, so you have the 2 personalities, and you can see that in the different expressions. This is the one, and here you can Smeagol for sure. So that is kind of cool if you want to display it that way, or you want to put it into the duality of it. So that is kind of cool the way they did it right there. There's some duality. That is, you know, it's a very cool concept for a very tiny little figure, or you can display them back to back. So you can use it as even as a bookends if you want to. I think, you know, I don't know if they can sustain. I don't think you can do big books, but you can do some stuff for bookends if you want to do it. That is really look for like a desk or table. Here you can see the 2 little pieces. So again, they're not big, they're small. Some people would say the price is too steep, but I think it's fair for this stuff. And definitely you can actually even, I don't know if you can hang him on the wall, but definitely you can do something like that if necessary, I suppose. I don't know if there's anything in regards to it. This is made from high quality polystone, approximately 3.5 inches tall. Again, it's not big. Depicts both Smeagol and the ring-twisted Gollum resting amongst ruins within the Ithilien woods. Made with reference to the original film scans and imagery, Smeagol has a mounting cavity. Okay, has a mounting cavity at the back for wall mounting and magnets in the base to connect with Gollum. Oh, that is good. Now, hopefully those magnets are really strong, because you don't want to just put the thing in with the magnet and all of a sudden that thing falls through. So hopefully there's a way also to attach them where they kind of click together, like they lock together. So that way, because I wouldn't trust just magnets just to hold on another piece like that, like in the air, mid-air. So I hope that actually you can attach actually not only but both to the wall. That would be cool in my opinion. I just not confident that just a magnet will just do it all, but you know, it's kind of cool. You know, it's a miniature stuff. If you're into miniature stuff, that definitely there's something worth checking out. You're into Weta stuff, so that is cool. All right, my friends. So now we're moving, and I want to move to Sideshow Collectibles because I want to talk about Iron Studios. Definitely, as you know, Iron Studios Inside happened just today, and as always, inside Iron Studios, technically you get a lot of these new releases. To be honest, I think we had Inside. I don't remember if we had Inside. I have to kind of double check, but I know that this stuff was showcased and presented at San Diego Comic-Con. So we already knew it was coming, so they release it, and definitely, as you can see right here, there's so many pieces that they release that, in my opinion, look really, really fantastic. You know, as always, you know, it's always really, really fantastic what they produce here. Now, let's start first with the going to the list because I want to make sure that we have everything correct here. I want to start first. Actually, some of the stuff here is not here on this page, so I'm gonna going in because I want to show you the first thing that they released this week. And of course, they have all this mini codes, which they don't impress me as much. But one thing that I want to mention, now going back to miniature stuff, they also are releasing, or they showcase Jurassic Park, Jurassic World figures or miniature pieces that are really on the really affordable price. They're very small, they're not big. Hey, how you doing, Batman? How are you, my friend? But I think the price point is excellent for this figure. So we have this three. They have the T-Rex, they got the Velociraptor Blue, and the Compsognathus. I think that's how you pronounce it. Compsognathus. This is the smallest one. They're tiny, 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 tiny. $50, which some people say that's too expensive for something so small. I would agree. Maybe $35 will be the perfect price for this. But they call this collection the Jurassic Park Icons. And this is going to release sometime between July and September of next year. Now, this is a Sideshow exclusive. It features a limited edition based on original references, made in polystone, may contain parts in resin, polystone, PVC, metal, and fabric. So it is limited to Sideshow. I don't think it's going to be available in other places. That's what this implies. They're very tiny. The base says Jurassic Park, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of cool. I think this is something new because, of course, we have the big statues and all that, and they're super expensive. And finally, this is the first time I would say in years that I see a collection of Jurassic Park, Jurassic World stuff that is on the affordable side. Not including also the stuff that is being produced right now, the vinyl stuff that is produced, PVC stuff produced by Prime One Studio, which in my opinion is also excellent. But the problem they have with the Prime One Studio collection is that sometimes the scale is all over the place on this vinyl stuff, which to me, I wish everything was on the same scale. So I don't know how they're going to match with this one. Again, this is very small, and hopefully they're all within the same scale. Oh yeah, they are. You can see this is the other, I think the Jurassic World T-Rex that in my opinion looks really good, you know, for the price that we're going to look at in just a moment. But this is so tiny. I would say $35 should be the most for something like this. But it's cool, you know, it's interesting. Now, going to look at the other pieces in this collection, we have the Velociraptor Blue, which is, of course, part of Jurassic World. That's another one. Blue here. And again, it's not big. It's also Sideshow exclusive. Velociraptor statue feature limited edition. All the same thing that we know. So definitely it's going to have a mixed media elements. There's probably going to have some PVC elements and metal elements, whatever. So the basis is something, it's very different. I'm not necessarily a big fan of this basis in comparison. They put the design, it looks fine. I think they all can match together, which is fine, but I definitely I prefer the vinyl bases or the bases that are used, which I actually polystone bases for the vinyl pieces from Prime One Studio. But I think this is not bad. Blue looks really cool. It's not bad. It's not big, so that doesn't require too much space again, but it's also a figurine, which is not really big. So it looks cool. It looks cool for the size. $50, I think. I can see the price here over the price that they're doing for the other little dinosaurs. So, you know, I think that this is more accurate. Now, this is the bigger piece that they're producing, the T-Rex. And definitely this is T-Rex. Even the base is totally different. Now, this one, it says again, it's a Sideshow exclusive. That's what it says. Not sure because I think, let me look. It says Sideshow exclusive. But if I go to Big Bad Toy Store, I don't know. If you go to Big Bad Toy Store, you look at Iron Studios here. They do have these pieces, so I really don't understand what they mean by you know, like, I don't know what they mean by exclusive stuff, because it's not. Do you guys know if Statue Palace is legit? Want to order my first anime statue. I heard about Statue Palace, but I don't necessarily know much about it. I never ordered from them. But to be honest, I do not know much about the company. I think I've heard people mentioning in the past, but it's one of those kind of companies that are starting. I don't necessarily be so trusty of it. I wouldn't trust it. I will definitely, if you want to just get a statue, if you want to get an anime statue, I would recommend maybe to definitely go with Big Bad Toy Store, because right now they're getting a lot of stuff. Spec Fiction will be the better choice. Let me see if I can see the Statue Palace here for you. I'll do it. Let me just finish what I'm doing here, and then I will get back to this, and I probably can give you some idea with that. Now, okay, the Jurassic World. So you can see with the Jurassic World Icons Velociraptor Blue statue. You know, I feel that, you know, they saying that it's, oh, you know, this is an exclusive, but to be honest, you know, it's somewhere else too. So not necessarily an exclusive. Now, I like the design on this one, and I think the price is you know, it's fair for what they have here. Of course, this is a T-Rex, so the size is bigger. I love what they did with the base. It's very different than the other bases, and I think it looks really good. It's a very interesting concept, and definitely it looks cool. Look at the little dinosaurs. So definitely for $80, you know, I think it's good. You know, they could, like, sometimes they go really super expensive and this stuff, and I think with this one, I think it's a fair price. So $80, I don't mind. Now, they say here, this is another thing that we need to keep in consideration, that it is mixed media, where in the sense that it's fabric, metal, polystone, PVC, resin. So I don't know exactly what how they're gonna divide this, what is polystone, what is not. Maybe the base is polystone, maybe the statue is vinyl. But even if it's just vinyl, I think it still is comparable and in a good price point, even comparable to what Prime One Studio is doing. So yeah, I would say that this is really, really cool what they're doing here. Now, moving on, and still with Iron Studios, I want to cover another piece. Coming back to here, I want to talk about Shrek. Definitely, I want to talk about Shrek. You know, I love this character, and it's kind of neat to see that he is making a comeback in some way, at least through his statues. Definitely, I would love to see another movie. Shrek, Donkey, and the Gingerbread Man, 1/10 scale, $260, which is pricey for what they have, but at the same time, you know, you have technically 3 characters, although I wouldn't consider Gingerbread and a 3rd character because he's just so tiny. That's just an accessory right there. But $360 is gonna release between July and September 2023. I do love the pose they chose here. I love the base and the design. Donkey looks great. Look at that. It's cool. I think it's a very cool. It was another, I think, highlight for me of the you know, they had a lot of stuff. You know, the reality on San Diego Comic-Con, you know, Iron Studios was showcasing a lot of cool stuff. And it looks good. I think the likeness is great. Now, Gingerbread Man right there. That is really neat. Beware of the ogre. That is cool. So this is a cool piece, man. But I think regardless, even though it's cool as a 110, and definitely, you know, he is big, you know, 10.2 inches in height because of course it's Shrek, an ogre. So it's 26 centimeters in height, which is tall. Which is pretty tall. You know, it's not bad. But still, I found it expensive. You know, I do. Like, I would say maybe $299. That would be the most I would just price this, because even though Shrek is a character that people love, and he hasn't really done much lately, so I don't think why is it that they think that it deserves to have that high price point. But hey, you know, we know Iron Studios. Sometimes they are really weird when it comes that. They really, you know, when it comes about this statue. So, but it looks cool. I like Shrek, you know, I enjoyed those movies when they came out. Now, moving on, I want to move now into the Marvel stuff. And first, while we're looking at the Marvel stuff, I want to look first at the MCU stuff. I want to look at Thor. Thor, $170. I think the price is fair. Of course, based on Love and Thunder, Battle Diorama. I think it looks pretty good. Although I would tell you that I wasn't really a big fan of the design of his costume in this movie. Although I know they took some inspiration from the comics and all that, I still not a big fan of it. I just find it too, you know, overly detailed. There's so much stuff. Like I love the simpler design of previous you know, movies. But you know, I think with the likeness, it's not 100%. Of course, it's a 1/10 scale. So the likeness is always sacrifices in this tiny little pieces. You know, there's sacrifice on it. Sometimes they're really close, but in this case, you know, like it is close from this distance. It's not 100%, but it's really, really good. It's not bad. I would say 90% there, like if from different angles. Now, again, not a fan of the way they do the suit, but that has nothing to do with the statue. I think the sculptors, Iron Studios, did a fantastic job on representing the character the way it was in the film. You know, I like the film. I haven't reviewed it. There's so much stuff that I haven't had the chance to review. And I did enjoy Thor, but I wasn't blown away by it. I still prefer Ragnarok over this one. I think this is cool. You know, for those who are, there's a lot of collectors out there that love the MCU stuff, and they've been collecting this line, and they continue adding, you know, and they have so many characters to they can continue to add. So it's kind of cool, definitely, and Stonebreaker in his hand, so it's really cool. So it's not a bad piece. Now, another Marvel piece that they have, we're gonna look at Wong, and this is based on the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I think this one, $160, I think it's a fair price, and I do like the detail. He looks a little bit bloated in some way, but I think it's very accurate with the actor. He looks really good on it. So people might say that he looks maybe too chunky, and in some way it does, maybe just the picture, but I like the detail they did here, and of course the tentacles of this beast, and he's in this battle. Another movie that I didn't get a chance to review on the channel, but I did like. It wasn't perfect for sure, But it looks good. I think at from some angles you can see that they did a good job really on the portrait. Although even though he looks a bit chunkier, perhaps it's just the picture and the lens that make it look a little bit, heavier than actually he is. But it looks good. I think it's another great addition, definitely. And you can see right back there, you can see Doctor Strange. So another great piece. I think this is good. I think it's a good piece. I think it's excellent. So not bad. Now, one thing that really kind of came out of nowhere, in my opinion, that it was really cool to see. And it was the Spider-Man 60s animated series. And they go with this. If you know this whole image has been used as for memes and GIFs and all that kind of stuff. Because it's really cool. Like Spider-Man pointing the finger at Spider-Man. It's kind of cool. This is the classic animated series. I remember I watched the cartoon. Of course, the reruns as a kid. And definitely have fun memories of this, watching this. I remember when, as many I was born in Mexico, but some of my first TV shows that I watched in English, some of the first cartoons, I remember the first cartoon that I ever watched in English were the Marvel cartoons. And Spider-Man, the animated series from that era, that was the first one that I watched. Also, I remember watching Hulk, Namor, the Submariner, the Adventures of Iron Man. I think Captain America 2 had it. So I remember watching those classic shows, and to me that was my first introduction to American cartoons. So I still remember. So I have fun memories, and I love the what they did here. Definitely, they did a fantastic job with it, and I even love the base when he's pointing the finger. That is really cool. Love that. I think this is one of my favorite things that they showcase here, and actually was released today. Very cool. And you can see the background, the two Iron Mans. Look at this from this GIF from meme that we have seen many times. It's cool, man. It's really cool. I like it. And look at that face. Now, one thing I will say here, this is something that I don't know if this is the case here, because here you can see that limited Spider-Man limited edition made in polystone, may contain parts in resin. Now, this is what they showcase here. Now, I want to go to, let me see if we can go to Iron Studios website, because I think there's a different version. But also it does have the portrait of I don't know if this one does. I don't know. Originally I thought that there was like an interchangeable portrait, but it appears that no, because there was no portrait or no show. We didn't see his face at all. So let me see what they have here. Of course, they have changed the website. Still not a big fan of the website or the way they did it. I don't think anything has ended here yet. Or yeah, there's some things here. Oh yeah, right there. We'll see. Right there, pre-order. Let me see. Let me see if there's anything here that is different than this. Actually, no. Okay. Let's do this. Let's go to Facebook. Because on Facebook, I saw a different portrait. Waiting for Facebook to load. Okay. All right, Iron Studios. All right, here we are. We are on Facebook, Iron Studios page, and this is, I don't know, maybe this is a special one that they have, a special edition thing. Right there. Okay, so there's a new piece. I don't know if it's the same piece. I gotta be honest with you. This is something, Okay. So it says that there is... Okay, so it depends on where you at. So ironstudios.com, Iron Studios Brazil, Iron Studios Europe. So let's see if there's a direct link to it. Okay, so you come to this link. Okay, so Sideshow. You gotta come through Sideshow. Okay. So I don't know what's going on with this version. But it seems that there is a different version where it has this portrait with the, the face of Peter Parker. I don't know if that's actually a different version or actually the same piece with interchangeable portraits. Okay, this is number 1 of 500. So they're gonna have a special limited edition of 500 pieces. Okay, so this is very new. This is not what you see at Sideshow. Here at Sideshow, it doesn't say anything about a number or an edition piece. So there's none of it. So technically you unless they sell some at some point, this is just one perhaps that is only sold in some areas and it's limited. So I don't know if it's gonna end up at Sideshow at some point, but this is a very different piece. Okay, so this is a limited one. This is an exclusive. I don't know if exclusive to whom or to who, which, where, but it says that you can pre-order. And it seems that when you do the one link, when you go to, it doesn't have it maybe on Sideshow. Perhaps they can do it in Brazil, and perhaps it's available in Europe. Who knows? So something that people will need to find out. But you can go there and actually maybe check it out. But that is cool. Although I prefer this one with the mask. I'm not necessarily a big fan of the portrait on the classic, but I think some people will go just with that because of the exclusive nature of it. They're gonna go for it. All right, so now moving on, we're gonna move now into what else it was showcased. Let me come back here. Let's see what we have with Iron Studios, and let's go into the other one, which is Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe, we have these two pieces that in my opinion look great. Ran Man, of course, people excited. It's one of my favorite. It's one of favorite characters ever. $170, I think, is a fair price. They're gonna even go higher with this because the guy is chunky, but I think it looks really, really good. I love the pose they chose. Of course, he's ramming. You know, he is in battle pose and he's going up. You know, he looks like Juggernaut. He's ready to fight, and it looks really cool, man. Now, the only thing I would complain about the sculpt here, perhaps, is that the portrait may look a bit too they may have to go with a, like, I don't know, like, it's kind of tiny. It has like a tiny little portrait rear, like the head, tiny in comparison to the rest of the body. Perhaps it's just my impression, but I do see that portrait, that face looks small. It would be nice if it was chunkier, because to be honest with you, remember the game, the actual game, the toy, you know, the ratio of the head was big in comparison to the rest of the body. So that's the only thing that I will say, that perhaps it would be nice if there was an adjustment. However, I think the detail, the texture on him, it's really cool, and it looks like a really cool design, and definitely they went for something really cool to this collection that in my opinion is amazing. It's growing really, really well. You know, it's really growing really well, and it's doing really fantastic. I think they're doing good. Now, Man at Arms, I would say I wasn't too crazy about the way he's holding his weapon. I think that it's a different pose. Also $170. But Man at Arms has always been one of my favorite designs. I love the design he did here. Of course, he has the design of the in this case of the cartoon, but also they taking some inspiration from the comics, the most recent DC comics, but also even from all the toys. Like I see on this part of his suit, it reminds me a little bit of the Mondo figure. That is an excellent 1/6 scale figure. So it looks good. Definitely, Man at Arms looks great. The detail is great. And definitely they could have just go with a different type of weapon, but he's holding, you know, his weapon from the toys, and the portrait looks excellent. Definitely, he has, you know, he's been through battle, so you can see battle damage in his armor and in his weapon as well, which is interesting. Not necessarily a fan of that, but everything else looks pretty neat. And I love the fact that they have this action pose, and the base, I think, is simpler. I think the whole portrait, his portrait is excellent. The body is excellent. I think this is an excellent piece. Another great addition to this collection that keeps growing and expanding. And I definitely think that is growing really neat. I think that it's fantastic the way they're handling this. And yes, you know, we love this collection for sure. Now, moving on, I want to move to another piece, and this is the Shredder. That's another one they released, $210, definitely more expensive. And perhaps it's because, you know, they know they're gonna sell it, because if you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you have to have the Shredder. Yeah, like, that's a must. $210 for this piece. Also, Battle Diorama series, that's what they call. It's gonna release between July and September of next year. Now, I love this sculpt. I don't know who sculpted this, but whoever did a phenomenal sculpt with this one. Love the pose, love the base. Definitely a very interesting. It reminds me a little bit the pose also of the 2000s, like the 2000s cartoon, the introduction. I think it has that vibe. I think that's a fantastic cartoon. I love that cartoon. It's the closest thing to the original comics, but in the tone, you know, the characters and stuff. And I really like this one. It looks impressive, I think, and the anatomy is really good. It's impressive, of course, based on the character, based on the cartoons, and looks great. Definitely liked it. The paint job, perhaps they couldn't just, they did this kind of like a gray, like kind of gray on his cape at the, pretty much on the edges. They couldn't just simply keep going on purple. That would have been better in my opinion. But of course they want to also add a little bit of realism to it. And then you can see the metal parts. I think it's excellent. But yeah, I would say more purple and less some of that gray shading that they have, that overshadowing, you know, overshade that they have. The portrait seems fine. You know, definitely, yeah, I can see the inspiration on the cartoon from the 2000s, which is, my opinion, is one of my favorite cartoons of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Sometimes I consider it even superior to the original cartoon because of the stories. But really cool. Definitely, this is interesting. It's gonna sell well, but yeah, I will say at the same time, the same token, is like, they really go up on this price, and they couldn't just simply sell at 180, 190. That would even be better. But they want to bank a little $20 more. You know, be my guess. Some people will pay it, and it looks cool. The shredder is a necessity if you are collecting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection, so it's not a bad thing. All right, so I'm looking at this, and I'm gonna come back in a moment to the comments. So don't fret. I'll be back, and we're gonna go through some of these comments here. All right, my friends. So going into the last piece from Iron Studios that was released today, we're gonna look at this Superman and Lois Lane 1/6 scale piece. Now, this is a beautiful statue, that's for sure. Now, is it worth $720? I don't think so. Yes, it is huge when you look at, compare at the height of this piece, and when you look at the base. But at the same time, with the same height, I can say the same thing for the Superman that was done by Twitterhead, and it's only $350, you know, and that is tall too. And what they're doing, even the Wonder Woman who's coming, she's super tall. It's $400 and some. So I do think that in this case, Iron Studios is going really steep with the price. Some people will say, well, there are 2 characters added, which is understandable. I know it's gonna do well. It's not a bad piece. I just find it too expensive. They couldn't just simply cap this at $600, and I think it will have even a much, you know, better price overall, and people will even buy it more, you know, because it doesn't have an edition size, so people will even more inclined to order it. Now, if you're looking for a statue that represents this couple, you know, this power couple that is so important in the mythos of DC Comics and comics in general, definitely this is a fantastic piece. It is really tall. Definitely, you can see the bugle right there. The Daily Planet, I'm sorry, the Bugle. The Daily Bugle. The Daily Planet, you know, thinking about Spider-Man. But I love the detail they did. Of course, this forced perspective. Some people are not fans of it, but of course, the idea is that he's in the sky, he's flying in midair, and of course, you can see this at the distance. So it's just forced perspective. But I think it's good. You know, it's excellent. Of course, you know, there are other pieces that were produced back in the day by DC Collectibles that are amazing. Definitely fantastic pricing as well. I think there's one with, you know, I think there's a few pieces with Superman. I think there's one with Lois Lane, but it's more on the older side. There's other pieces that have been done in the past, also with Superman and Wonder Woman. But definitely, I think this is the couple that most people will prefer. And it looks really good. They did a really nice job. Definitely, Iron Studios did a fantastic job on representing this. But again, my only concern is the height. It's really tall, and for that reason, they're technically justifying the price point, because technically you're paying for the base. But they couldn't just simply even go simpler than this with something even a bit tinier, like not as high, and it will have fulfilled its purpose without just going too crazy with the price. Now you can see the Daily Planet right there, and the images, of course, of Metropolis, some of these buildings. And now we can see the close-ups. Definitely, I love the portraits. And they're looking at each other. You know, they're laughing. It is a really nice smiling. You know, she's smiling. Big smile. Open smile. He is definitely smiling. So, it is a really nice piece. Definitely, I love it. And I love the fact that also another thing that I like about this one in comparison to what, you know, my criticism that it was with XM Studios last week was that cape has so much texture. This one comes with there's texture in the suit, which is cool, but the cape is clean. And I think that's what most people want. It's just a clean cape without touch texture. I think that's the thing that really Arms DX and Studios piece. So to be honest, if I have to choose between that piece of Superman or this piece, definitely this is something that is worth checking out. It's very different, it's standalone piece. You don't need to have anything, beyond that. If you want something just to represent this, and I know Superman, completionists, people that love anything that has to do with Superman are gonna go for this piece because it's a very unique take on it, and it's very cute. It's very cute. It's super cute, and I think it's a really nice job. And I love this love statues that we have seen in the past, even from DC Collectibles. So it's nice to see another Iron Studios retaking that, because of course after the closure of DC Collectibles, and of course perhaps we get some stuff from McFarlane Toys now that they're kind of taking the direction of the company, taking over on those lines that were left by DC Collectibles. But so far it's kind of a slow start, and it's nice to see other companies, in this case Iron Studios, also getting into the 1/6 scale lines with this type of thing. So it looks cool. I like this, and I like this picture. Very nice concept here. That's what it represents, and definitely this should be a nice art print. It would be nice if they give you an art print with the statue. At that price point, they should give you an art print for sure, and that gives you the idea of the height. However, I want to keep this in mind. Just because it's taller doesn't mean that it's worth the $700. In my opinion, I think a lot of it has to do with the base. But the statue alone, you can go with a smaller base, and it will fulfill its purpose nicely. Because definitely you don't need that tall building with the forced perspective. You really don't need that. But hey, it's just my opinion. It still looks cool, and I love the sculpt on Superman and on Lois Lane. That's for sure. All right, my friends. So now let me go back. We finished with Iron Studios, so let me come into the chat. Maybe there's some stuff here that we can discuss while I drink some water. I want to say to all of you that are watching this, welcome, and thank you very much for your support. Thank you for taking time. Let me drink some water. Definitely, Iron Studios kill it today, like with a lot of stuff. Definitely, they have a lot of amazing stuff. And I think this idea, what Iron Studios was doing in the past, where they were releasing stuff on a weekly basis, it's cool. They were kind of they kind of stay busy, but now they're doing it once a month, and I think they drop a lot of stuff, and I think it's cool. I think it makes sense, like you can pick and choose what you like. All right, Kid Fresh, you have a question. You're talking about Statue Palace. I heard about Statue Palace before, but I'm not necessarily. I have never ordered from them. I haven't heard anything in the sense if it's like super like this or that. Now looking at Statue Palace, to be honest with you, I will definitely. They have a lot of anime statue, and I think there's something that they do. I personally have never ordered from them. People seem to know it, but I think Statue Palace is not necessarily. I don't know if it's based in America. But if you feel confident with them, then by all means. But to be honest with you, I cannot really say, yeah, go for it, because I know them, because I don't know. Now, looking here, I will determine the most efficient shipping carrier. I've heard from other people. I would recommend you definitely, if you want to know more about it, to ask to people that actually have purchased from them. You can go to the Facebook groups. Oh, I think I'm not showing you here, because I'm here on... Let me show you here. Okay, I'm in the website. This is Statue Palace. For those who are unfamiliar, I had seen it before, but I've never really done anything with them. I don't know how reliable are. The website seems fine, and a lot of people and the prices seem to be fair with these pieces. But I really don't know much about it. Like, I have never really ordered through them. They do offer a payment plan, which is something that it's always good. But at the same, let me look at this one, the Blood Joker Studio. Now, this is one other thing that you have to... I seen that they do a lot of different things, but you also have to be careful, because, for example, this one technically is a copy of the Tsume Art piece, and this is something that I've seen. There's a lot of criticism. So sometimes they also sell some pieces that technically are from studios that they don't have a personal a license, but they're selling stuff there. Now let's see what they have on in stock. They had some pieces, and a lot of they have a lot of stuff that actually it's on the You know, they're not licensed products. They're just companies that they do that. But they have a lot of pre-orders. But some really cool stuff for sure if you're into this stuff. A lot of unlicensed products too. So I would say it's up to you. You want to go it. You can reach out to them. You can actually check with the people that actually collect a lot of the anime stuff. You can go to... you collect comics as well. Yeah, I collect comics. I collect primarily omnibuses and hardcover collections. If you kind of see my channel, that's what I do. I have done for years, and I have reviewed many books over the years and many comics. I don't collect single issues anymore. It's not something that I do as much as I used to once did. I did that. I stopped collecting single issues years ago, but I do hardcover collections, and you know, primarily hardcover more than softcover stuff. Softcover I stopped. Everything primarily I like the hardcover editions. Although I read a lot of comics, digitally because I prefer that. It's easier for me. But here you can see, and I'll show you a couple of things that I have here, some of my collections and stuff. But in any case, I would say just check with them. But if the companies that I know I'm more comfortable with the licensed stuff, then definitely you have to come to Iron Studios. Sorry, I say perdón, which is excuse me. I'm sorry. You have to come to Big Bad Toy Store. That's an option. Or you can go to Spec Fiction, which is this company. It's Spec Fiction, and I use it, and we're gonna go through the night. We're gonna go through Spec Fiction. We're gonna come here because the Spec Fiction I trust. I know the people there. I know the owner, so I trust this company, and it's been in business and is well known in the industry. And he carries a lot of different things from anime as well, and also he offers payment plans and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. But I cannot vouch for Statue Palace, although I have heard of them, and some people talk good about it, but I cannot vouch for them because I know that not only sell, some licensed stuff, they also sell a lot of unlicensed stuff, which is something that some people don't like as much as in this industry. All right, so going back to this, and for the person that was asking me about if I collect statues, well, I can give you an idea or what I collect. I have comics, like you can see all that in there, all those books, all the way to the bottom. You're not gonna see them all, but I do collect a lot of omnibuses and hardcover collections. That's what I collect, and I have more than that, but that just give you an idea what I do collect. And yes, I do collect comics, so it's something that I've been doing for years. I'm a big comic collector. When I started this channel almost 10 years ago, I review statues, but also I review comics, and I still do but not as much as I once did. But it's something that brought a lot of people to this channel from the beginning. All right, so now moving on, talking about, and I want to say to all of you, thank you very much. No, you're welcome, kid. Hopefully, I'm sorry that I can really help you more, but check with them, check with other YouTubers, so go to the Facebook groups and ask in the Facebook groups what it is. But if you're looking for an anime statue, my recommendation would be to Spec Fiction first, or Big Bad Toy Store. And you can look into the stuff there. Now, if there's something that you see at the in this case there that is nowhere else, then definitely I would say go and check in the groups and ask them, hey, what do you think about this? They will tell you yes or no. That I would recommend. But I'm not necessarily a big anime collector. I love anime stuff. I talk about anime stuff and anime statues, but I'm not like a big anime statue collector. All right, so let's move on now, my friends. Let's move on. Now I need to go. We're going back to Sideshow because now I want to talk about let me go back here. We're going back to Sideshow because I want to talk about Kotobukiya. Kotobukiya, always impressive as it always is. Man. But welcome to everybody. Don't forget, if you like the content here, leave a like, leave a comment. All of that is important. Helps this channel to grow, continue to grow. All right, now we're looking at here of the stuff that we have talked about, a lot of this stuff, but I want to cover. We're coming down right here to Terry Bogard Bishoujo. Of course, as I mentioned before, the Bishoujo line is super popular. It's been popular it's the most stable line that has kept Kotobukiya for years, as far as I remember. You know, as far as I remember back in the day when I started collecting Kotobukiya with the fine art statue stuff, Bishoujo was already there at the same time. That's when Bishoujo was introduced around the same time. But definitely it keeps going, and it's like it never stops. There's a never-ending inspiration here. And this is definitely a very interesting one, of course, based on the SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy video game, which, you know, I haven't really played as much as I should. I love SNK stuff, but of course, this is a female version of Terry Bogard. You know, of course, you can see even in the truck hats is Fatal Cutie instead of Fatal Fury. Now, the people that are involved here in the process, the City Heroes was stylized by the beloved illustrator Shunya Yamashita. Yamashita is the one that did the design, but the sculptor here is Yoshiki Fujimoto. Fujimoto is the one that sculpted this piece, and I will tell you, Fujimoto has done a lot of pieces for the Bishoujo line. This is an excellent piece. I think he did a fantastic job representing the character like this. It looks really sexy for sure, and I think that's what the reason why people still collect Bishoujo. Another great thing I like the Bishoujo here is that the base is very different. Most of the time with the Bishoujo from years, it was just that plain plastic base, like see-through base that most people didn't like the acrylic look of it. Well, now this base has something to tell. It has a little story, at least it's something that looks more premium than what they have. So it is a really cool piece. Of course, there's no interchangeable parts. Some other Bishoujos have interchangeable parts now, which is something very new. There's, I think, most recent that I've seen in some of the most recent pieces. But I think this is an excellent piece for sure. I think paint job is excellent. Represents the illustration of the artist really well. And definitely it's hot. So, if you're into Bishoujo, then definitely Kotobukiya released this. And in my opinion, looks really, really good. Okay, so this is what Kotobukiya showcased this weekend. If you're into the Bishoujo, definitely this is another one. I think this is another home run for them. I think it's going to do really, really well. Now, my friends, I want to move now into, continue with the 1/7 scale, but I want to go into a French company that this, doesn't, it's a great company, no matter what. Whatever you put it, Tsume Art. It's a company that it's definitely you need to talk about it no matter what. Every time they release something, you have to talk about it because this company is excellent. Now, and they have done, of course, we call them French company because they speak French, but they actually, well, although they're technically in France, or the company, the people there, they're French, the company is based in Luxembourg. Now, they have this new piece, which is technically next door. Now, Nami, and I think that's because of for tax reasons, that's, it's, that's the reason why they went there. All right, so now we have Nami. This is for One Piece fans. And of course, this is already technically, I think, sold out at the Tsume Art website. As always, if whatever goes directly through them is going to be sold out. However, you can still go to Spec Fiction. And of course, the price here is, of course, in euros. But if we come to Spec Fiction, just to give you an idea for those who are interested on this piece, here you can see right there, Nami. This is the HQH Dynamax 1/7, so it's $1,000. It's expensive for a 1/7 scale piece. However, keep in mind this size, the sheer size of this piece. It's unreal. It is a huge piece. Now here you can see, gives you a reference on the scale of this piece. Look at the whole detail. At first, when I saw it, I'd say, man, that's too busy. But then, of course, they take an inspiration from the manga, from the anime. So all of that, like into this battle with Nami, they put so much elements into the whole thing. This is really busy, but this is necessarily not for everyone. This is for One Piece fans. And if you're a big fan of One Piece, then definitely the art has always been busy. It's just part of the art. So it is huge, man. And I will tell you one thing that Tsume does is that Tsume is not afraid to throw everything at a piece, just to showcase the best of the best, to do the best. And that's one of the reasons I consider Tsume one of the best in the industry when it comes about anime pieces, when it comes about manga pieces based on manga or anime. They're probably the best, because what they do is excellent on that. They're kings of the 1/6 scale, the 1/7 scale on this. And the art is excellent. Of course, these are mixed media pieces, so some elements are made out of PVC, vinyl. But look at the whole detail. This light-up feature on this. It's just unique. And I don't think many companies are as bold as Tsume to do this, I've seen so many companies with anime that produce a lot of stuff that looks very busy but looks out of place. With this one, in some way, it may look like everything's out of place on this array, but definitely tells a story in a way that it's like super interesting. And of course, this aspect of the story, based on Alice in Wonderland. If you can look at the details there, and it's really, really cool. And definitely Nami looks really hot as well. The way they present her there, she looks really hot. But man, look at the detail. Here you can see with the lighter features, which kind of shine some of the different parts. Definitely Nami's angry. She's upset. And look at the tree. And I love how they did the leaves right there, all the transparent resin or vinyl or whatever they use there. Man, I don't know. It's just gorgeous. When I look at Tsume art, always, and when I look at the whole thing with them, it's just really excellent. Like, to me, what Tsume does is it's just amazing in its own right. Like, look at that. I'm always love this. There's a lot of pictures here, but everything and every little corner, there's some detail that it's just, in my opinion, blows my mind. It really blows my mind to see that. What you get to see here. Look at that. Look at this guy. Excellent, man. Look at that. I love that the fact that they have so many pictures to showcase. And yes, it's an expensive piece, but this is such a unique piece of art. And definitely for One Piece collectors, people that love One Piece, definitely this is like a grail type of thing. Like, this is the type of piece that definitely will be a centerpiece that people will love. I personally, and I don't collect One Piece stuff. I'm not like a huge on One Piece stuff. But if I was a One Piece collector, I will definitely go for it. Look at this other piece, of course, here, right here. Part of this collection. I still like this one a lot more. I feel that everything feels, even though there's more stuff going on there, I do love the beauty of it in comparison to this one. I think it's more proportion. So, man, it's a really nice piece. And definitely, again, if you didn't get the chance to order here, then definitely you can come to to Spec Fiction. And Spec Fiction also offers payment plans. There's a pre-order options. You have the flex pay, so you can pay as you go, which is another option that you do. And this is it's an excellent piece. If you're in the US, the shipping is free. That's another great thing, which is cool. And definitely all this price already included all the stuff and the cost, all of that. So it is cool. So kudos to them for doing an amazing piece of art. Again, Tsume Art, always killing it like this. Now, let me read some of the comments here while we're looking at this. It says, you collect comments. Okay, all right, thank you. What do you think about the large ES that Sideshow does now? It gives me time if I like the piece. It's also a no-brainer to wait because they mark it down with deals down the road. Yeah, you said it right there. I think they... when I came to collect, Sideshow was the edition sizes, almost 15 years ago when I started actually collecting Sideshow. 15 years ago, between 15. It's been a while. I think came back to collect. I've been collecting for 20 years, or almost 20 years. I took a break, came back around 2008, 2009. I think, or 2007, something like that. It's somewhere in between. That's when I started collecting again. That's when I started going into Sideshow stuff. During those years, it was super limited. The numbers were so small, and it was hard to get it. But nowadays, with all these editions, it gives you time. The time to reconsider, and the exclusivity is not such a thing. It's not a thing that it's like it was. Particularly with the Sideshow kind of got. They have some exclusives, but they have kind of gotten rid of those type of deals. So it gives you time. So you don't really have to jump on things right away. It gives you time to consider, and perhaps something better comes along the way. And you change your mind, because to be honest with you, it's so easy sometimes to change your mind, particularly when there's so many companies producing so much stuff. It's it's what it is. However, I do have an issue with the way the edition sizes have been exploded in a way that it's cool in some way, but at the same time, it takes away the value because you already paying inflated prices for products that ultimately you will never see more than what you pay for in the aftermarket, because they're not going to gain any value. And everything else are always improves. There's always new things. You get tired of something and you want to trade it for something, you want to sell it for something, but now it's becoming harder and harder to sell stuff because you're not making any profit. You're selling stuff at a loss. And definitely a hobby where you're losing money more than making money, or you're not really coming along, is a burden. And so I feel that it's something that I don't want to get in depth here, and I've talked about it in the past in the channel, in the podcast. I've talked about it before, so you can actually go through those videos, even through the statue chat where I've talked about it, where I mentioned those things, what I consider about edition sizes. And it's something that definitely it can be seen from different points of view. So some people say, well, it's good because some people don't care much of. They say, I don't care about edition sizes, but most of the time the people that say that are the people that just got into the hobby, and because they got into the hobby, they come into it an idea of, I don't care. It was the same with me when I came into the hobby. I used to say the same thing 15 years ago. I don't care about edition sizes, until I realized that it was so important when I got tired of watching something, looking at something, and said, well, okay, it's time for me to have a new, or move in the new direction with my collection. Then I have a problem because now I have pieces that I cannot sell. If I have to sell, I'm going to lose a lot of money. So I'm not coming along. So instead of having progress, I'm just, I'm actually moving backwards. And I feel that that's something that you realize, but it takes time to get to that place, because people change. We change. Our approach to certain things changes. Our ideas changes. Even our taste changes over time. So it's just the way it is. All right, my friends. So, okay, so we already covered Tsume Art, and we are coming back, but let me take a quick break. We've been here for an hour and 15 minutes. Let me take a quick break, and I'll be right back. And we're gonna cover some other things. We still got some way to go. We still gotta talk about Pickstar Studio, Infinity Studio with District 4 Studio, where they have this ownership, this team up. Queen Studios, Pure Arts, Fierce for Figures, Piji Studio, Prime One Studio, and PCS Collectibles. So we still have a good list of numbers to go. When I come back, JFR, I'll answer to that question. Why do I consider a low edition size? When I get back, I'll talk about it. So just give me a few minutes.
You can save your alibi. I already know you lied. Oh no, no, don't even try. Watch the flame in me ignite. You didn't wanna walk the plank. But then ready or not, it came. Baby, it was dark, it was hard to see, and that's when a spark lit inside of me. Oh, I was lost from reverie. One day you will see what you made of me, what's inside of me. One day you will see I found my inner peace. You are Juri's in the dead of night. In the dead of night. Baby, when you feel a die, you know it's an eye for eye. Feel the energy align in the dead of night. 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 And one day you will see what you made of me, what's inside of me. Oh, and one day you will see I found my inner beast, and you are Jubilees.
All right. All right, my friends, welcome back, and thank you for giving me a chance to take a quick break. Now, going back to what we were talking about, and also there's a question right there. JP, what do you consider low edition size? And I see Late Night Trip. JFR, I say 1000 ES is a sweet spot. Now, for me, based on my experience, you know, when I came into the hobby, edition sizes were extremely small. When I mean extremely small, you're talking about less than 100 pieces. And that's when you will find a lot of pieces that were 100, 200, 300. It was 300. It was the standard for a lot of pieces for DC stuff back in the day. And of course, those even I remember Sideshow. A lot of the exclusive stuff from Sideshow was 200 or 250 pieces exclusive, and they have a more open edition size, which is 500. So that was the edition sizes they had back then. And of course, even some of the most exclusive Bowen stuff wasn't to less than 100, 99 pieces or 50 pieces and stuff like that. Now, of course, that's out of the proportions, although some companies have kind of going back because there's so much stuff out there. Like even XM Studios, that initially when XM Studios decided to start it, they decided they will never cross the 1,000 pieces on the edition sizes, but recently they've been doing 250, 300. It's just because the demand, you know, there's so much competition among companies, and many companies are producing stuff. Many companies are, you know, it's so much stuff, you know, like people are not buying as they used to because now everyone is competing for your hard-earned money. You know, everybody's competing for the dollars. So, you know, we're kind of going back. But however, some companies, particularly with Sideshow went into, I remember when they decided to do the first time they went in to do, when the big edition sizes really started with them when they took the DC license. When they took the DC license, that's when you saw the first time with the first statue that they did, which was it Superman or was Wonder Woman? No, it was Wonder Woman. It was Superman. I don't remember which one, one of the two. And then, of course, they got the Batman. I remember that this is the first time you saw them coming with 2,500 pieces on a first release, kind of like the first batch. And then it's a second batch of 2,500 or 1,500, something like that. That was unreal. And a lot of people got upset when that happened. A lot of people were upset because a lot of people pre-order. I did pre-order Wonder Woman, and ultimately during those years I was actually kind of saying like, you know what, I'm not in the mood for this anymore. That's when I decided just to scrap those ideas to go into that route, and it's just concentrate on the 1/6 scale, which I was already doing. So that's when I turned around and says no more. I collected the stuff that was done by the Gore group, the Martin Canale, when he was doing stuff with the in this case with the X-Men stuff. I collected that, but it was time for me to move on into something different. But the thing is this, that's when you start seeing the numbers. Now, of course, now when they do 5,000 pieces, which it was unheard of, and as we started, that's a lot. To me, at this point where we at right now, a low edition size, it's anything that a premium low edition size will be anything that is less than 100, which you can find, but you're gonna pay top dollar. Primarily, it's a lot of custom pieces. Some companies may do a very limited number, like for example, that Iron Studio is doing that, like the 500 for that exclusive thing. With the Iron Man, that is an exclusive piece. 500, I think, is a perfect number. I think right now, even with the Kotobukiya stuff that I have, they've been doing the 500 the edition. I think that's a happy medium. You can call that low in my book. Anything above 500, then definitely you're going into higher numbers. When you go anything over $1,000, I'm sorry, 1,000 pieces, 1,000 in the edition size, units, then definitely you're going really large. So I think anything in the hundreds, 500, 300, I love that. Yeah, because it's easier to get that. For example, some pieces I may have, there's like some exclusives may be like 500 exclusives or 300 exclusives, and then you have 1,000 regulars. So definitely the exclusives are going to sell better than the regulars for sure. So that's my opinion. Of course, everybody's different. Now, I don't criticize people for preferring large edition sizes. It's your opinion. It's your money. You do whatever you think is right. But to me, like anything above 1,000, it's definitely a lot. But if you know, right now being in 1,000, I think anything below that, I think it's what it is. But to me, the perfect sweet spot was like anything within the 500, 600. However, I want to mention this: just because something has a large edition size doesn't mean that it detracts from me the desire to buy something. If I want to buy something, I want it so bad, then I'm gonna go for it. The edition size is not a determining factor for me like it's for some people, because I know some people that they determine something, you know, like for them it's a determining factor. For me, not as much, but I do consider that, because in the end, if I'm gonna go for something that has a large edition size, I want something that to me represents has an ultimate representation of a character. That would be the case. If I'm kind of partial about the whole design or the sculpt, then I'm not gonna go for it, because to me that is just a waste of money. It's a poor investment. Of course, that's just in my personal experience. All right, let's move on. Let's get back into the statues, into the some of the companies that we were talking about today. And I want to go to, in this case, for that reason, I want to come to Big Bad Toy Store. I want to come to Big Bad Toy because the next pieces are actually, they're sold only through them for the time being. I don't know if they probably end up as Spec Fiction at some point, but right now this company is doing these things, these statues. Let's see if we can find them here on all the detail. So first, I want to start with Pickstar Studio. Now, Pickstar Studio is a company based in China. Also, in many ways, we still continue with the anime manga stuff. Okay, so I don't think we found the Pickstar. Right there, you have Pickstar Company. This is the company. There are two pieces. They have released other pieces. This is in China. Now, these pieces were released. I think they've been around since probably 2018, 2019. It's been showcased prior to the pandemic. They were showcased in different cons in Asia. And some people are really liking this design. They primarily they concentrate on Naruto stuff. That's what we've been doing. And they've been on pre-order for quite some time here. Supposedly they're gonna release in the second quarter of 2023. Of course, the pandemic really put us slowed down so much stuff, and many of these, particularly young companies, young studios, they couldn't just produce their stuff. But now it seems that they're coming back strong. Now this went actually on pre-order this week. They appear on the pre-order this week, and they have two different pieces. Again, this had been showcased since 2019. I've seen the unpainted prototypes over the year. In 2000 we saw the painted prototypes in some places, but no idea of the pre-order for a lot of these things. So here you can see with Naruto, with Pickstar. It's kind of cool if you're really into Naruto stuff. Now the pictures here are kind of poor. Now this company does have a Facebook page, and I'm gonna show you some of that. I do kind of like the concept. It does have a light-up feature. I found them very expensive, but in Asia there's a big fan base of Naruto fans. There are people that love to collect the Naruto stuff. So you're into Naruto and you love this, and definitely there's something worth checking out. I think it's a really cool concept with the wings. So that is interesting to see. For Konan, these are 1/6 scale statues, but definitely with those wings, it really comes out big. Now the other piece, which is even more expensive, almost $1,300. And this is, of course, Naruto Uzumaki, the Immortal Mode. And this is really interesting, the whole concept they did with this one, and the the different creatures behind, around him. Where it appears that we have some sort of delay or like disconnection, so my apologies for that. There was a disconnect. It haven't happened in a while. It seems they happened today for some reason. But in any case, as you can see right here, the detail is super cool. Really a lot of detail right there. So it's not bad. I think they're pricey. They're expensive, but for fans of Naruto, which that really tells you how much people love this anime stuff and how expensive it can be. Definitely there is always that idea. Now let me take you to Facebook for those who definitely don't know much about this company, this studio, which is technically one of those new studios. Thankfully there is a They do have a page, which is interesting. They don't have many people to follow them, only 118 people. So if you want to kind of follow them, and here you can see some of the stuff they're working on and some of the stuff that they're actually showcasing in some places in Asia, as you can see. Some of this stuff we will talk about as soon as it goes on pre-order. But definitely, I love the detail they're doing on these pieces. A lot of this stuff that they're doing, it's just amazing. Look at this piece, for example, right here. Look at the detail with that. It's just very, very unique. And I'm sure it's going to be super expensive. But come on, it's a 1/6 scale piece. The detail, that's a monstrosity of a piece for sure. Here you can see another one. They're doing amazing work on these pieces for sure. That is awesome. That is an awesome piece for sure. Wow. This company is one that definitely, I will tell you, you keep an eye on the stuff that they're doing for Naruto. It's really interesting. And it's really full of detail. It's impressive. They're huge pieces. And definitely there is a price attached to it. And this has a light. They have light up features. I think this light up feature looks excellent. So this company is one that definitely needs some attention. Look at the other stuff here. For example, this one right here. Look at that. Look at everything. Everything they're doing for Naruto. Look at that whole diorama. That's going to be super expensive. That's going to be a couple $1,000s right there or more. No, this company is different. This company is doing something very, very unique. For sure. Wow. Really cool. Really cool to see a company doing this kind of stuff for sure. Yeah, I will tell you, pay attention to this company. Pickstar is doing really, really cool. Now, while we're still there, going back to, and I'm moving from Facebook, I want to come to here, and I want to show you another company that is also, you need to pay attention. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have a Facebook group, but it's another company that also has been showcasing stuff for a while. And this is District 4 Studio. District 4 Studio is a company, it's a studio based in China, and it's been doing this partnership with Infinity Studio. Infinity Studio is technically doing helping them with the producing this statues. Technically, it all goes back to Penguin Toys, these little studios. So they only have here a Big Bad Toy Store, these two pieces. I think the price is fair, although these pieces have been on pre-order for a while, and they came out. That's also perhaps the prices are low. For example, this one right here, the Yu Yu Hakusho Kurama. This was a showcase back in 2019. The first time I saw it, 2020, I saw some images of it, and it looks really excellent. According to this, it's going to release. It's been operated for a while, so it's going to release sometime in the next few months, sometime in this third quarter. So we're very soon. So I want to talk about this company. I have never talked about it, but I think pay attention to him. Something that is going to be available soon. Pay attention to the reviews and all that. If you're a fan, of course, of this anime, this manga from the 90s, Yu Yu Hakusho, then definitely you might be a fan of this one and might be interested on this one. It's a very interesting piece, interesting concept, and it's not bad. And the detail, and believe me, I've seen it. There's some videos on Facebook of it, but not much stuff because they don't have a page. So we'll see what happens with this piece, but it's coming soon. So I will tell you, like, if you're really interested on this one, it's only limited to 400 pieces, which is a very, very sweet number in my opinion. And so you go for it. Now they have this other piece, which is the younger Toguro 100% power. And this one is also, well, it doesn't say what's the number on this one, but it's of course made out of polystone. This is gonna be bigger, so it's more expensive. And as you can see, it's part of this collection. A lot of people don't know, a lot of people are familiar, but this is it was a very popular anime, well, manga, and then the anime was pretty much at the same time in the 90s. And of course, it didn't air into, it was, what was that, Cartoon Network in the early 2000s in America, in the late, when they have the late stuff, late at night. And there's even video games of that. So it's interesting, of course. you know, it's cool. You know, it's cool. I would say this is not for everyone. This is for people that love the anime and they're fans of that. Then definitely there's something worth checking out. And this also is going to, well, this actually is going to release later in the second quarter of 2023. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed as the previous one that we saw that was delayed for a while. So we'll see what happens with that. Only time can tell on it. So all right, so we talk about it now. Well, I want to talk about another company, and for that I want to go to Spec Fiction. And I want to come to Spec Fiction because I want to talk about the Queen Studios. Queen Studios just released this piece. In my opinion, it's amazing. I'm a big fan of Saint Seiya. I grew up watching I watched the Saint Seiya in the early 90s when it was aired in Mexico as a kid. Well, I was a teenager back then. But I think was in that time where I was kind of between a kid and I think because I don't know if it was the 90s when it started airing, it was the late 80s or something, it was somewhere in between. But the thing is this is being popular around the world forever. And Sensei, of course, now people love their statues. I love the statues, but you know, I'm collecting more of 1/6. I'm not really collecting the big stuff, and some of the big stuff is awesome. I love Dragon Shiryu from Prime One Studio, but it's so big. And I still think that the Tsume Art Shiryu is a fantastic depiction that actually won the Statue Forum Awards when we were running the Statue Forum Awards. Won in the middle scale and the medium scale. I think the first time around, and it's a fantastic piece. And I think not only it was the first year or second year, and it became the statue of the year because the great support by particularly for a lot of people in Europe and a lot of people that love the manga and the anime. But in any case, $729 is, I think, it's a good price, and I think it's a great price because this is the representation. Hey, Statue Habit, how you doing, my friend? A representation of Shiryu that is very different than anything that has been done before. Of course, he doesn't have his armor. I love the way they did the dragon. And he's standing on top of that dragon. And of course, he doesn't have his armor. You can see the dragon in his back. the tattoo that appears when he has the power. All of that. It's really, really cool. I love the detail that they're showcasing. I love that dragon. What I love about it is that it's not really a huge piece. It's not super visible. There's not so much stuff. But everything is so concentrated into that and the space. But it's done in a really nice way and represents, of course, Shiryu in this battle pose. And I love the clear resin. This is definitely one of piece that I'm impressed with. And normally I like to go for the armor. I would love to see Shiryu with his classic armor from the bronze cloth and also the one prior to it. But because he has two different cloths, and of course they got the golden cloth. But I love him without the armor, and I love the musculature. I love the pose. The paint job is excellent. The clear resin, the dragon. This is a beautiful piece, very unique that I wasn't expecting, but they have done such a fantastic of the texture in his clothing. He is in battle, and I love it. It to the point that I feel that it's hard for me to choose which one is best. I think of course the Tsume Art is so iconic and hard to come by. And for those who don't know, let me show you this for give you an idea what I'm talking about. You have never seen it, but Tsume Art Shiryu, kind of give you an idea of this piece. This is the piece that I'm talking about. This is what, to me, it's still a classic piece. It's still a 1/6 scale. This piece is amazing. You know, Tsume Art did such a fantastic job with this piece when this came out. It's huge. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And I love all the dragons. Of course, he has his armor. The base is excellent. It's such a beautiful, beautiful piece. This is actually the piece that in some ways puts Tsume in the map for a lot of people around the world. It looks fantastic. I like it. I do like it. I think it's excellent. It represents the battle and the dragons and stuff, you know. It's cool. And of course he has the second cloth that he has, the more bronze, the second cloth that he used not on the first saga, on the Athena saga, but he used on the following saga, which was at the Poseidon saga and the Atlantis saga, and also it was used also in the anime on the what was that, on the Valhalla, or I forgot the name of it. I'm just got it lost. And the other saga, of course, in the Nordic saga, I forgot the name of it. But it looks cool. So this is the one I was talking about. So this is really cool. But I think this piece, as it stands, the way they're doing it, it's just unique representation. And I do love the detail that they have done with this piece. It looks really, really fantastic. Love his long hair, which is and something that definitely it's part of him. But if we come, let's say to, let's come to Facebook, for example. Let me take you to Facebook to, there's other pictures that they use there. These are pictures that are more of the promo pictures. But if we come to Quinn Studios, I'm gonna show you some of the pictures they use there for promo, and in my opinion look really, really cool. This is done really well. The full price $718, of course, through Quinn Studios. I love this piece, and I love the detail that they did with this one. I love the detail on this piece. I think it's excellent, and definitely I'm inclined to go for this one as an anime piece. You know, I like it because you don't have to collect many. You can just use it as a standalone piece. And it's just, I love the effect of that water with the dragon. It's just awesome. I think Queen Studios is getting into this. It's nice to see somebody that is actually bringing some competition to Tsume Art on that, in that, because other company that is doing also, the other company is doing Sensei stuff, but they're going into the quarter scale stuff or the 1/3 scale with Prime Studios. So it's nice to see a company that is actually competing in the 1/6 scale level. And I think this is, definitely it's good. Competition is always good, and I think this is a very excellent piece. The size is excellent. I think the whole the display and the way it was done, the way it's all put together, it's not massive, it's not huge like when you see sometimes with Tsume Art that they're super huge and busy. It's not, but it's so well done, so well designed, so well thought out. So I'm loving this piece, and perhaps I will get it. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. So yeah, that is a cool piece, and definitely looking at Quinn Studios, what they're doing as a company, definitely it's always impressive. All right, let me drink some water. And again, to all of you, my friends, everybody that is watching, thank you very much for your support. Don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget, if you watch this for the first time, you like the content, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments, let me know what you think about the stuff that we're talking about. If there's something that you wanted me to talk about, you know, once we get the chance, we'll cover some of those bases. But definitely thank you for your support, and also consider supporting the channel financially if you can do it through Patreon, or you can do it through the super chat. Anything that you can do helps this channel. All right, my friends, time to move on. Let me drink some water. Now, there's another company I wanted to talk about that is also has a piece that definitely is exciting people moving away from the anime and the manga stuff. Now we're going into some other franchises in the gaming industry, but also into movies or stuff. We're looking at The Witcher, and we're gonna look at Pure Arts. Pure Arts, as a company, keeps doing really amazing stuff. So where we're gonna go, I'm gonna go first to their website. Although you can go anywhere you want to go. You can go to Sideshow. You can go to many places. Now you can see Geralt of Rivia. This is The Witcher, the Wild Hunt, the quarter scale, and also there's a 1/6 scale piece on this one, which to me that is really cool that they're doing that. And here you can see. Now this is the first The Witcher stuff, if I'm not mistaken, that they're doing, and I think they're hitting it in a very different tone than any other company. This is a quarter scale piece. Now let's start first with the 1/6. Now the 1/6 is the mini version of the quarter scale. It doesn't have the big bad, creature on top of it. It's $439. You can choose a payment plan as well through Pure Arts. And I don't think there is any type of exclusivity on this piece because you can go anywhere else and they have the same. It's an open edition size, which means that they're going to produce as many as they can produce. And it's available worldwide. So I don't know. The edition size might be, it depends on how many pieces they get to pre-order. They'll produce as many as possible. I think the piece is good, yes. Now the only thing that I will say at this tiny scale, here you have, of course, he has the chalice that he has with the blood and the sword, and I'm not necessarily a big fan of the way they do the pictures here. That's something that I've never been a fan of Pure Arts. I think they need to improve on their website. But here you can see some of those tiny little pictures. It's just a tiny little version, and we're gonna go in a moment. Perhaps we go into we'll go to Sideshow to look at the pictures. I love the blood there. So this is the one right here, and he has the hand. It does have the arm of that creature that he vanquished, and of course he has the the wolf, the white wolf, and that. And this is the comparison right next to the Big Daddy, which is the one that is super huge, to be honest with you. It's really extremely big. Now, if you cannot afford that much, but the 1/6 I think will be enough for a lot of people. Now, if you're looking into going into, you have the money to spare, you have like $1,800 to spare, and then definitely you go for this one, and it has that creature. Now, again, there is this one may have a light. This one, the edition size is going to be really small. It's going to be 150 PR exclusives with Ditlaf Brock. I don't know what the exclusive it is, actually. I have to look at it. Oh, Ditlaf High Vampire in a full body sculpt with a tool. So the exclusive is with that vampire. And 750 without the vampire. So, oh wow, that's definitely it's only going to be exclusive edition limited to only 150. So if you want this, then you better act fast. If you want that vampire in there. And I know it's super expensive. Yeah, that is huge. Look at that. That creature is huge. And at the same time, that wingspan is going to make it very difficult to display because it's going to be so wide. Now here you can see. Now, we're going to go to Sideshow because I want to really show you better pictures so we can see things for reference and scale. How do you think this Geralt statue compares to the one there from Prime 1 Studio? I will say I prefer the Prime 1 Studio. Gotta be honest with you. I think the detail is more in line. I trust what they're gonna do more with the detail in comparison to what, Pure Arts is going to do with this one. That's just my opinion. And at that price point, might as well just go for what Prime 1 does. This is a very different approach. Don't get me wrong. Now here you can, the deluxe version is 1805. And here you can see the span of this one. The top with a spectacular 42-inch wingspan. 42-inch. That is really tall. So definitely this is going to be a piece that, here you can see better pictures. It's going to be so hard to display in any place. You have to have an open setup where you can have the wings open like that. But that is an interesting concept and design. This is very different, very unique. Very different than anything else that they have done. And it's huge. And it's a throne environment. Some people may call it that. But I gotta be honest, I will tell you, like on this, I don't know if I will be eager to pay such a price for such a thing. When actually I think even the detail on the Prime 1 Studio, it's better. And I think Prime 1 Studio has a 1/3 and also a quarter scale. I think there's something. I try to remember exactly. Let me try to remember because I think Prime 1 has both scales. Let me see if I can go there. We're going to go to Prime 1 Studio at some point tonight, talk about the Batman Beyond. But here you can see Geralt. Let's see Geralt. All right, we have Geralt of Rivia. We have the different version. I think this one's the original Geralts were quarter scale, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. Waiting for it to load. Okay, this one, when it came out, the original, which I think is an excellent piece. Yeah, quarter scale piece. Those were quarter scale. I think those quarter scale are better. Like in the end, the likeness was better. Now, the most recent Geralt Rivia, which is this one, that is a 1/3 scale. So, okay, so, like I will say overall, even Sideshow, I like Sideshow, even though I think Sideshow has some, a lot of people were disappointed with it. I think on the price point, Sideshow would be better. This is so expensive. This is a unique piece. Yeah, no doubt. And definitely has a lot of detail. But I don't know. I don't think $1,700. Yeah, the vampire is kind of cool, but definitely that's not for everyone. So definitely it's going to be for the hardcore fan that loves Geralt to death and want to have the most unique thing possible. So that is where perhaps it's going to be. But as you can see, you have the 1/3 scale. Then you have the tiny little figure. So there's other options, whatever. They have the Sideshow right there. So I don't know. It's cool. No, don't get me wrong. I think the concept is very different. And I think they're banking on that. Now, I will tell you on the 1/6 scale piece, I will be more afraid on the detail on the 1/6. I feel that the detail is going to be lost in some way. In comparison to the quarter scale, so some of that detail is going to be lost, of course, because you're talking about a smaller piece, and some of the texture has to be kind of changed a little bit in order to accommodate the size. As you can see, I think this is already a 1/6, and I can see that some of the detail on the face a little off, and the proportion a bit off. So it's up to you. I still think that if you're looking for 1/6, perhaps this is good. If you're looking for quarter scale, I will definitely go for Sideshow and even with Prime 1 Studio, in my opinion. But still, I think there's a very unique, very large piece, very different, and definitely this is a start for Pure Arts, and I wish him the best, and hopefully this do really excellent for them. And hopefully we can get to see more from them, because you know, when Pure Arts does things, they do their own take on things, and they do amazing work for sure, particularly when they do light of features. They do amazing stuff. All right, so that's it for Pure Arts, and now we are looking at one piece that I want to cover now, which is First 4 Figures. But for that, I want to go to the First 4 Figures website, because of course they're exclusives. You can get this piece in other stores, but hey, you know, if you have the chance right now, we talk about the exclusive stuff. Last week we talked about the Breath of the Wild Lincoln Horseback. I like this piece. The week before we talked about Berserk Femto. A lot of people don't like it, but I don't have a problem with it. But I want to talk about Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Richter, Belmont. Of course, the Castlevania show on Netflix has been doing great. Now, there's 2 different versions. Of course, you got the standard edition, and then you got the exclusive edition. Now, if you got, they normally sell it for what they call the pre-order gift. You know, you get that, you get the early bird pre-order gift, which is technically you get a discount. So $609, that will be the price if you pre-order within the next, I don't know, 20 days. So you can see. Now, looking at the information, they also offer a payment plan. This is within the quarter scale, you know, size is going to match up with other pieces that already have been released on this collection. This one is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Richter Belmont exclusive edition. Comes with following. Comes with of course, the Richter Belmont painted resin statue, interchangeable hand holding a flask of holy water, interchangeable hand wielding his sword, magnetic handle for the sheath, and 2 LED functions for the flask of holy water. It's static and animated. Highly detailed base inspired by the theme and style from the game, and authentication card, limited edition numbering. So the width is 10.2 inches, the depth is 9, and the height is 20.5 inches, which is 52 centimeters. So yeah, definitely within the quarter scale. And there's no edition size yet. It's determined by the number of pre-orders. So now looking at the pictures, here you can see what comes with the exclusive. You have an interchangeable hand wielding the sword. Really cool sword. I think it's a nice pose. Interchangeable hand holding a flask of holy water, 2 LED functions. And here you have the collector's box, which is technically, they always have different boxes. You have a limited number, edition size number on the base, but also the box is different. You have an interchangeable right-left hand holding the vampire killer whip, and a magnetic handle for the sheet. So you have some things that you can change. And now let me kind of compare this, because sometimes it's not so clear with the website on the stuff that comes. Let me look at the standard editions, and on the picture, the picture will kind of give me a better idea. Okay, so technically you get the same as the other. Okay, the sword and the flask are only for the exclusive with the light of feature. That's it. So the whip that comes with the regular, actually the box is the same. Yeah, but the number, of course, is going to be different. This is for the regular. So this one is fine. But again, at this point, I would say go for the exclusive, because you get the extra elements that only come with that one, which in this case is the flask and the sword, which I like. And also, you know, the sheet. You can have the sword mounted inside the sheet or not. So, or it's a different piece that comes like with magnetic handle, all the kind of stuff. So I like this. I do think that they did a fantastic job with the portrait of Belmont. Richter, I think he looks great. The portrait is good. I like its museum pose, but I think it's simple. It's not complicated, so space-wise it's going to fit well with the other pieces already in this collection. And as you can see, the texture I like in the pants and the clothing. The flask has the light of feature. It's very faint, it's small, but I think it looks great like that. Hopefully it's as strong as it is on the original, on this case on the production piece. But definitely he has a really nice paint job, the face and all. He definitely is a pretty boy for sure. Looking at it like, wait. And I like this sword. Definitely there's great detail. I saw the video today on the YouTube channel from First for Figures. I think it looks as impressive. And now when you look at Castlevania, let's look at Castlevania for those who would like to have an idea of all the pieces that have been released already. Give you an idea. Let me see if we can find it here. They have Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. You have Dracula. So that's another piece that has already been released on the waitlist. It's out of stock. That's another piece that was released. And of course, they all fulfill the same purpose. They all have this museum pose. This is another excellent piece for sure. All these pieces that they have released definitely has been really fantastic. Castlevania, let me see, just to give you an idea, all the Castlevania pieces that have been released so far. Of course, you got Belmont. You have, of course, here Death. We talked about it before. Of course, Dracula. So it's cool. You know, I think this is a really excellent collection. Continues to be impressive what they're doing here. And of course, I'm sure the more pieces are coming. But we'll know for sure in the future. But definitely, First for Figures did a fantastic job with this one. I think the price is fair for what they're offering here. If you want the exclusive, I would say act fast, so you can get the discount and you don't miss out on that. I think the exclusives are, the extras are really good and definitely are worth the price tag. All right, my friends, I'm looking at some of the comments. Maybe there's anything there. All right, we're moving on. We're moving on to the next thing. And for that, I'm going back to Spec Fiction. I'm going back to Spec Fiction because I want to talk about you have Figurama with Alucard, which also looks great, that diorama. We talked about it before. But here I want to talk about this company right here, Piji Studio. Piji Studio, it's a great company. They have the Naraka Blade Point, which is a game, of course, the mobile game, or I think it's also online game. I have never played it, but Matari, quarter scale. Now, Piji Studio always does this type of pieces. I have talked about Piji before. This Chinese company, particularly when it comes about female characters, they do a fantastic job. The likeness, the pieces they do, they have done SNK pieces, fantastic pieces. Love the detail that they put into these pieces. But now this is the newest one that have released, and it's just very unique, very stylized. Let me look at the detail. I think it's fully sculpted. No, it's polystone. It has polyurethane and PVC. Polyurethane is more like the plastic look. PVC elements, so it has some mixed media elements to make everything look as natural as possible. I think it looks fantastic. The whole detail, this is a quarter scale piece. It's not going to be small. That base alone is big, and everything they have in the detail. This is a standalone piece that is going to look really fantastic as it is. It does already, and it's really cool. These are not the best pictures, but I think it's really good. It has a detail. Definitely her skin looks fantastic. She looks really hot for sure. They have some clothing. I think some of that, it didn't say if they had any fabric, so I'm guessing some of that might to be polyurethane, just to make it look like cloth and, you know, linen or whatever materials they use. But it's really cool. It's a really nice pose. And here it gives you an idea of the scale is 60 centimeters to the top of this base. You know, which I think is really good. 42 centimeters is the width, 43 centimeters is the depth. So this one has really some good size. You know, definitely it's a really nice piece. Very good detail. It looks excellent. Again, Piji Studio killing it with this type of pieces. I love to talk about these pieces in the channel here normally when I get the chance, because to me, like, you know, we can always talk about the same characters over and over and over, but I love when companies bring something that is very different and unique. And I know that this game seems to be very popular, and they've been producing, not only Piji Studio, but other companies have been producing stuff for Blade Point. So this is another, in my opinion, another winner. Limited edition. It's only 468 pieces, estimated to be released in the fourth quarter of 2023. So you're talking about perhaps even 2024. But again, you come through Spec Fiction. You also have they offer a flex pay, so you can choose the payment plan. $899, I think, is fair for the size of this piece, for everything they offer with it. So definitely it's fair for those who are into this collectible, into this line, and they're into this company for sure. All right, my friends. So now, definitely what time it is 10 o'clock. And I want to say to all of you, thank you very much for taking the time. Definitely, we cover a lot, you know, in just this amount of time. And we have 2 more companies to talk about. And I'm going to take another quick break. I try to take breaks so that way it's easier for me It doesn't hit me the night as hard, so that will give me a time to do other things. But we're coming back because I want to talk about, there's 2 more companies to talk about. We have Prime One Studio. We're going to talk about, they have 3 pieces or a few pieces that they released this week, particularly something that is already released before, but it's now at Sideshow, and also some pieces they released, and the Batman Beyond, of course, that we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to talk about PCS Collectibles. We're going to talk about the Dungeons & Dragons Tiamat, and that'll be definitely, that will cover all the companies today. So give me just a few minutes and I'll be right back.
Guess it's been a while since I fell in love, but after last time, don't wanna mess things up. You're so beautiful, and I can't deny just gotta let me go. Time wash away every feeling that can cause me pain. All these memories I can't escape. Can you let them all wash away? Let it all wash away, cause I don't wanna feel the pain. Love, just let me go, cause I don't wanna feel the pain of holding on and keeping strong. So now I'm moving on. I don't wanna feel the same, so love, just let me go.
All right, guys, thank you very much for your patience. Thank you for watching this video and for being here with me. I appreciate it, everyone that is chatting here with me. Thank you for the time. Those who are sticking with me since the beginning, those who have come and go, thank you very much, each one of you, and those who will come in the future as well. Everyone that watches the recording, and yeah, as always, I always leave the timestamps for quick reference for those who want to come to the different parts of the conversation and different points, and that way you know exactly what we talk about. Now, looking at some of this before we get into Prime Studio, let me read some of the comments here. It says, I like the breaks. Me too. I like to put some songs at least to keep things into perspective here, or at least to not to be as boring. I like the songs too. A little bit of a jam on a Friday night. Now he says prices has really spiked over the last couple of years. Price has also spiked with shipping. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, really bad for sure. I know what you mean, man. Focus is more important than ever before. Yes, you have to. We need to focus on the things that are important. You know, like I think it's important to maintain a goal. You know, and I know sometimes we fail to do. I do so. I do that. I fail sometimes to maintain a focus on to maintain an idea or the concept, the initial concept into what I'm doing. But I think, you know, sometimes you gotta deviate. That's just the way it is. But the thing is this, it's just trying to maintain the course is important. At the same time, it's important to realize that sometimes things change and some drastic changes happen, and some companies close doors, some things change, and sometimes even your passions change and you have to adapt with it. But as long as you kind of maintain a standard in your collection, I think that really helps you to stay afloat in the game. And you know, I constantly see a lot of people voicing their opinion. I even have friends, good friends, that have been collecting for a while and they just completely done with it. You know, like they're burnt out. There's always the feeling of burning out. So I think sometimes it's because there's a lot of things that we do, and I think the problem sometimes when I think the problem is that you can be disoriented all the time because you don't have an idea, you don't have a plan, you don't have a goal in your collection. That can be also create burnout. But also another thing, because you have no goal, you know, you have no purpose, everything is in disarray, you are not, you know, you don't know what you're doing, you know, you're completely in free fall, you know. But at the same time, you know, I know that you can be extremely focused on something and, you know, extremely set up in the goal, and when things don't work out the way you want, and then of course that can bring desperation and anxiety and worrying, and that also brings burnout. And I've been in both sides of the spectrum. So I think in the end, it's just about having the happy medium, happy balance, you know. Yes, have a goal, but don't take it too seriously, you know. Concentrate on what you like, but at the end of the day, realize that things can change, so you have to adapt with it. And I think that really allows you to stay afloat. You know, as a collector, I've been a collector. You know, the reason I've been staying in this game collecting for years has been because I have to redone my collection time and time again. I got to the point I sold everything except one or two pieces and restart over again, and I've done that several times. So it's not like it's nothing new. And some people will say, well, man, you've been so long that you should have a big collection. I don't. And it's because I have to restart over and over again. To me, the passion of the hobby is more than just trying to be a hoarder and having everything. It's about just having what I want at that moment, you know. And my collection right now, it's this, but I might change my mind, you know, next year. I might want to do something different. I might get tired of, you know, the same Marvel DC stuff, and I want to maybe go into the anime stuff, or I might just want to go into Star Wars stuff. or something totally different, you know, like, we are always open for change. And I think, of course, everyone is different, but that's just been my philosophy since the beginning. And I think that that has kept me going, and it has kept me excited while I see some of my friends just losing the desire, being burned out, and don't want to do it anymore, and they just want to get rid of everything and move on. I'm still here, and I feel like, I support them. I totally see where they're coming from, but in my case, I haven't got to that place yet. And it has nothing to do with not feeling the same pressure as everyone else. It's just that, I'm always changing. That's my personality. I'm not the type of person. I cannot just maintain my focus on one thing. I have to, like, I want this now, but tomorrow I might just want to try something new. I wake up with a different idea, a different desire, a different passion. Who knows? I think everyone is different. All right, my friends, let's move on. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for the questioning, for actually sharing your opinion. But yeah, I do agree. It's important to maintain the course. I think that is important in everything in life. If not, you will never achieve anything of real value. So I think it's important to keep that course. And if you have an idea to want to build something, just keep doing it. I think there's success in achieving the final goal. Saying, oh, finally, I got the final piece that is actually setting whatever I had envisioned in the beginning. And I've been in those situations a couple times where I was able to get the final piece that set up the setup that I wanted to do at that moment. And it's a proud moment. You feel so proud for achieving what you started doing, the plan that you have in the beginning. So yeah, it's always good. So I think in the end, that's the end goal. All right, my friends, let's move on. We have to talk about Prime 1 Studio. So we're coming to the website. Actually, no. First, before I come into Prime 1 Studio, I want to go to Sideshow because I want to talk about the first piece that the piece that they actually this week they're releasing at Prime 1. And it's this one right here. Let's see if we can see it. No, we'll find it. We'll find it right here, probably at the second page. Little art prints, as you can see right here. You can see there's 3 new pieces: Ciri, Fiona, and they have different pieces. And this is the Ellen Rhiannon alternative outfit. There's one version. So there's different versions here, as you can see. And that is cool. And I don't know why they have 3 different versions. I think it's because, if I'm not mistaken, they have the bonus version, which is the one that comes with the extra thing. They have the collector's edition, which is technically the regular version. Collector's edition, that's what they call, Sideshow calls it, but that's not what the Prime 1 calls it. Then deluxe version. So now, to kind of gives us an idea of what we have here, let's go for the bonus version. The bonus version, it has, of course, I talked about it before, it has the bonus, the cat school medallion that she's carrying. That is the bonus that you get if you order this. And that is the bonus. It looks cool. I think it's a nice addition. I love the portrait. It's really excellent here. Of course, this is the alternative, the outfit, which I think looks great on Fiona, on Ciri. And I think I love it. When I talk about this piece when I think I talked about it months ago, probably last year. I think it's an excellent piece. And of course, it comes with the interchangeable arms where you can do certain things like different poses, which I like. I do like that you have that. The variety of the pieces, definitely the back, you can see very nice base. It's tall, 51 centimeters, 34 centimeters, that's the depth, and 33 centimeters the width. I think the detail is excellent. This is what we're talking about, the stuff that, when you compare this company with, even with, now with Pure Arts. I love Pure Arts. I'm not saying that they're bad, but definitely Prime 1 Studio offers, I feel that the quality of the pieces is more a premium, particularly on the outfits and the clothing. It feels like more premium, in my opinion. Even the sculpt, the sculpt in the face, I feel that it has more detail. It's also quite a scale piece and definitely looks fantastic. So yeah, you can actually have it. If you're really collecting quarter scale stuff from The Witcher, then definitely there's another option with the Pure Arts. But to be honest with you, Prime One Studio's been doing it so great that you definitely don't need anything else. Now, $985, I think, is a really excellent price. Now, when we're looking at the deluxe version, is this one right here. $985 too, which is technically the same as the bonus. The only difference is that it doesn't have the medallion. So the bonus is just if you want to have the medallion. But here you can see it has the same, you know, again, you don't see the medallion, but it has the same hand, the same switch out arms, and it's the same piece. But in my opinion, go for the bonus because the difference in the price is the same. You don't want to miss on that one because I'm sure that's going to sell. Again, the deluxe and bonus is the same price. The difference is just the medallion. Now, the collector's edition, which is the regular version, that one is already on low stocking. It seems that it hasn't 905 pieces. I don't know why people are... I think the deluxe should be on the one in low stocking. This one only has this pose, which some people might just agree. You might just want to have that pose. They just might want to have that. They don't might not need something else. But to me, if you're already paying this type of money, might as well just go for pay a little extra so you can get the extra switch out arm and then the medallion. So might as well just get that. Still, excellent looking piece, excellent detail, fantastic job. I love the detail on that sculpt. The eyes, her eyes are amazing. She looks great. The detail on the base too. Very nice piece, very nice detail all around on her clothing, all of that. They have done a fantastic job. This is something that definitely Prime One Studio, they pride themselves on doing this amazing job with these pieces. Definitely, Ciri looks amazing here, and definitely this is a win-win. You into it. All right, so now let's go now to the official Prime One Studio website because we're gonna look at the other pieces. First, before we talk about Batman, I want to talk about the other two pieces that they released this week that actually are part of this celebration that they've been doing. Of course, the Dante and Nero exclusive color limited version. That's what they call it. Technically, it's the same as the day before, but these are limited in the different variant of the celebration of the 10th anniversary. They've been doing that every week with different pieces they already release or they are on pre-order. And if you order, in this case, the other piece, then Dante, then you get $50 off. It's $11.99. Some people may go for that. To be honest with you, I'm okay with it. I still think that just going for the original is better. But Nero, here you can see there's some differences in the color on his clothing. Definitely there's different colors. I'm not crazy about the boots, but you get the same as the other one. You get the punchline, the different weapons, the LED illumination. You get of course the sword. You get the detail, the swappable left hand part. So you get everything that you get with the other one. Here you can see the different weapons with the hand. So you can do certain things with it. I think it's good, but again, as I mentioned before, when they've been doing this thing where they just repainting the things that they already have, of course that really kind of throws people off because this is just the different version of Nero. Now here you can see the deluxe, the actual, not just what we consider the regular one, $8.99, limited to 550 pieces. Of course, the other one is more exclusive by the numbers. But this one you can buy now. Look at that, $199 in my opinion. And I think if you're gonna go, just go for the actual or the more. I think I prefer the coloration on this one, but it's the same piece. I do like this one more. I think the colors, the outfit looks better. I prefer this one. There's some elements I like the other one, but I think this one is just the way to go. These repaints are just for completionists, for people that want some very extreme, very limited things. But I gotta be honest, not necessarily impressed with it. Definitely there's some changes in the paint job. Now you can see Dante too. Now with Dante, you can see the same thing. It's 350. Wow, they know they're gonna sell more with Dante, so the edition size is even larger. I would say the Dante, it's I can go with it, with the outfit. I think the variant, definitely there's some variants in the paint job. I can go with it, but I still prefer Dante with with the white hair and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. But he does have the same weapons and interchangeable parts, all of that. It's just a different scheme with the paint job. Still an excellent piece for sure. all around. You know, it's just the same skull. It's just 350 for that. And here you have the exclusive, which to me I think is more iconic to have the white hair on this one. But of course they've been doing on every piece on this collection, they've been doing the stuff. With that one, is even larger, 800 pieces on that. That was pretty large. And here you can see, look at that. Definitely, yeah, to me this is more iconic. You know, like the colors. When I think about Dante, I think about his white hair and definitely his trench coat, the coat, you know, in that burgundy color. So, but you get the same pieces, they get same thing. Of course, it's different paint job. So I know completionists will go for it as well. But yeah, it's just the way it is. You know, they've been doing the same thing. If you want it, but definitely that one also has edition size right there, and you can go just the regular one. So cool for what it is. You know. Cool for what it is, but not necessarily like, again, like I mentioned before, I don't think Prime 1 Studio should be doing this type of repaints like that. But ultimately, it is not me who kind of decides for them. All right, paid my last payment for Wonder Woman versus Hydra. Oh, congratulations, long wait for some statues. Yeah, you know, that's a nice piece. I'm telling you, man, if you purchase that one, congratulations. When he gets here, I'm sure you'll be happy. That is a phenomenal piece. I love that. I think it's a terrific job they did with that one. And you know, this is the thing with Prime 1 Studio, the weight that can be a killer for sure. But in my opinion, Prime 1 is the top predator right now in this economy. And this for this companies is the company that is producing the best of the best. You cannot go wrong with Prime 1 Studio. Yeah, sometimes people can, you know, have some issues and all that. That is just expected with any company. But you know, Prime 1 Studio just kills it. You know, in my opinion, it kills it. You know, other companies, they're getting close. You know, they're doing amazing work for sure. But I think Prime 1, they just the bulk of licenses they have and everything they're doing, it's just setting the standard for everyone else. That's for sure. All right, so now let's talk about the Batman Beyond. I know some of you have been waiting for this one. I think this is a phenomenal piece for sure. Now, looking at this is the concept of Will's, what is that, Sliny? I think that's what it's called. It's Sliny, yes. He did the concept for this piece, $1,500. I think it's pricey. This is the bonus version, all of that. And here you can see is the featured Batmobile themed cockpit base, 3 swappable heads, including bonus heads. So the bonus head is just the third head on this piece. According to this, it's going to release sometime between November and February. November of next year and February of the following year. Perhaps it's going to not even release till later in 2024. Hopefully, no more than that. But in any case, looking at this piece, I love the design. You know, like people were making comparisons. I think I love Batman Beyond. Since that show was came out on television, I love the show. I love the design. I love what they were doing with this show. I love what they were. It was phenomenal, and one of my favorite Batman shows ever. And I have you know, there's been so many different variations of Batman. I think the first Batman Beyond that I remember was the Warner Brothers statue that was produced back in the day, which was amazing at the Warner Brothers store. That was before DC Collectibles existed as it was, DC Direct. So that was an amazing looking piece. A lot of people love that, and it was it was exclusive to Warner Brothers store. And amazing, you know. Of course, we have seen so many variations based on the cartoon, the animation, all of that. But I remember, what was that? The first time I saw, there was a custom piece that was amazing by a good friend of mine. I think the Dynamic Menace. Man, that was an amazing custom piece. When I started making videos here on YouTube, amazing. I always loved that custom piece. It was done a couple times. It was redone a few times. You know, it was a private project. But in any case, I think over time I've seen pieces like even from Sideshow. A lot of companies have done amazing. Now, trying to think which one is the best Batman Beyond will be hard. I think it depends on what you're looking for. I think this is a different version of Batman Beyond. Definitely has a lot of the feel of the newer comics of Batman Beyond. So it does have some of that feel to it. You know, the more modern look of the suit. And definitely Sliny took a little bit of inspiration and did some changes here and there. Not crazy about the base. Yes, I understand the concept, what they were trying to do there, but not necessarily I'm so crazy with it on the way they design it. However, I do like the way they did it, although I prefer the more clean cut design. Because for example, when you look at Batman Beyond like Sideshow, I do like this Sideshow Batman Beyond. I think it's a really excellent piece. And of course, it's already sold out. You know, I always like this piece. And of course, he has the 2 portraits. They got the alternate portrait, which in my opinion was a excellent, pretty much in homage to the original animated series. I love this piece. It's a classic piece. I think I love the classic look of it. It's more streamlined. Really like it. And definitely love that base. It's a simple base. Of course, it's sold out. You can find it, by all means, go for it. You know, you can find it for a good price. You know, when it came out, it was excellent. I always love the detail. And definitely this is a natural pose that really works really, really great. But going back to this one, I think, of course, this just has the more mechanized system. You know, I love the eyes. Definitely you know, you see the comics, the more modern comics. When you look at Batman Beyond comics, of course they've been the most recent comics. There's been different iterations over the years, and some of the most recent comics, I don't know if you can see some of them here, are being excellent. And I love what they have done with this one, like Hush Beyond. You know, some of the new comics are really excellent. You know, like I do like the design, and I see people taking iterations or changes into the new comics, and I love it. I think, of course, this is a take of Batman Beyond that is excellent. It's different, and I feel that Prime Studio, I think, is nailing it for what it is. You know, of course, you know, I know that there's a collector that loves Batman Beyond. And there's a collector that loves all this stuff, and of course, he has the cockpit and all that looks really good in the back. It would be nice if he had some type of light-up feature back there or something. That would be even better. I'm not necessarily a game fan of the smoke, and that's something that the smoke that comes out when the cockpit opens up. You know, it's something that I've never been a fan of the way Prime 1 does. I think Prime 1 is still, all the things that Prime 1 does, the weakest thing Prime 1 does is smoke. I don't like when they try to do like the effects of smoke. For some reason, it's always like it looks finicky. It looks like gimmicky. It doesn't look right. I don't know. It looks like foam to me. It doesn't look right. I think that's something that they have to use more like a clear resin. I think other companies do a better job on that, like Tsume Art. Many other companies, particularly with the anime stuff, they do amazing stuff when they do smoke. But for some reason, that's the weakest thing for Prime 1 Studio. That and XM Studios have the same problem. Prime Studio, Prime 1 Studio does a little bit better than XM Studios, but XM Studios is another company that when it does a smoke and water effects, it just, I don't know, it doesn't look right. But here you can see all the details in the back, and again, that smoke, that's just terrible. Doesn't look right. But I can see how they want to do the cockpit thing and the design. Some of the paint job feels like a little bit cheap. Oh, it does have some type of light up, it seems. Cool. Hopefully also there's some light up in the cockpit. I like the design. I like the detail. Definitely, it's, you know, if you're into the modern thing, then definitely this is one to look at. Looks cool. And definitely there's great detail. I think the concept is cool. You know, it's not bad. I think it's good. The price point is expensive, but definitely this is an... would you call this the ultimate Batman Beyond? I don't necessarily would call this the ultimate Batman Beyond, because at the end of the day, I think Batman Beyond will keep producing statues from Batman Beyond. There will be amazing statues for sure. Every company will do different variations of it, and even Prime 1, I'm sure that Prime 1 Studio will also do another variation of this at some point. Unless the company goes and closes doors, because I think it sells. I think it's a good piece for sure. It's excellent, and the only one there so far, unless you're counting also custom pieces. But it looks good. I think the detail is there, and there's like 78 pictures, light up features and all. Looks really, really good. It says, what will make the Batman sell? What will make this Batman sell is Sideshow Batman sold out. Yeah, it's true. You know, I think it's, in the end, that one is sold out, but just because sold out doesn't mean that it's not also available through other means, and people can find it on the aftermarket. However, the problem with that is that, you know, like, there's not many Batman Beyonds, you know, in quarter scale right now, unless you go through customs, and there's some amazing customs for sure. So yeah, that could be. But I think this is necessarily for the one-third scale collectors, and they want something to pair with the other Batman or different variations of Batman. And this is one thing. Prime 1 Studio does a lot of Batman. So yeah, this is another one that you can add up to the list. And people want to have that, you know, because it's a famous suit and people love the suit. I love the suit. So I think it's gonna do well. It's not gonna be bad, you know. It's gonna do well, and I'm sure Prime 1 Studio will produce another variation of Batman Beyond for sure, because it's Batman, and because Batman sells, and because definitely Batman Beyond also sells. Now, what does it make? They may do a variant for the Batman Beyond. Could that mean we'll get an animated series version with a smooth suit? That is actually a good. Actually, it's a good question, and I would say yeah. I wouldn't mind. I would not doubt that they did that, because this is a partnership that they did with this designer, and they did this concept. But I wouldn't be surprised, you know, because this is something that they are exploring. But you know, how many versions of Batman we have? How many variations of Batman by Fabric have done? Or the Jim Lee Batman, they have done 2 for both. And also they're doing other Batmans with other artists. So I wouldn't doubt that if this one does well, that they also decide to do more an animated version, that would be awesome. Or at least something closer to the animation. Less mechanized, less robotized, you know, like less like that. But I wouldn't doubt it at all. Yeah, wouldn't doubt it. They are known for their variants. Yeah, they will do something more in line with the classic look for sure. So yeah, you know, all we can do is just hope for it, you know, and it's just a matter of time. When, who knows? But I wouldn't doubt it. However, besides whatever it comes, I think this is an excellent piece. I think it's excellent for those who love the design, the mechanized design. I think people are happy with it. I haven't really heard much criticism, unless people want something more closer to the animation. But for the most part, people are excited with it, and you know, collectors already thinking and adding this, and they're already pre-ordering this, so I'm sure it's gonna do really, really well. All right, so that's it for Prime 1 Studio. So now I want to go. Well, we're here at Sideshow. That is a cool piece. That quarter scale, man. That's an excellent. It was an excellent piece for sure. But definitely, there's even Sideshow needs to redo a new one. They need to come up with a new one. Now I want to be. We come into the last piece of the night. And I want to talk about PCS Collectibles. I think PCS have done. It's been in talks for a while. I think the last month has been fantastic for them. Here you have Tiamat for Dungeons and Dragons. This is a huge piece. Now there are 2 different versions. They got the collector's edition, which is the regular version, and the deluxe version, which is the limited version. Now, they have 400 pieces for the regular, and they have 250 for the exclusive deluxe version. Now, the deluxe version, if I'm not mistaken, has lighter features. I think that's what makes it deluxe, if I'm not mistaken. The deluxe statue, an incredible dungeon for only for various adventures. Use Tiamat in your next collection encounter with the statue start block below. So here, everything, of course, they're giving you in the deluxe radiance. In her deluxe form, the Tiamat statue includes a light up feature that illuminates the open maw of each dragon head. The color of the light indicates the breath weapon of the corresponding dragon type. And of course, there's different colors because there's different heads of this dragon, the mother of all dragons. And the height on this one is 28 centimeters, 71.1 centimeters. I'm sorry, 28 inches. The width is 31 inches and the depth is 37.5, so it's big. Now, it doesn't tell us, as always, Sideshow fails to tell us who is the people involved in this. However, for those who are, just to give you an idea, Lucas Cuenca. Lucas is a sculptor. He's from Argentina, but Lucas has been involved in the industry, particularly doing designs for a lot of things over the years. He has worked with doing so many different movies, so much stuff. This guy has, it's a star when it comes about designing stuff. He's the one that designed and sculpted this piece. He's from Argentina. He has worked in Argentina for years, but he has worked in companies in New Zealand, in Australia. He worked with companies in the UK. Now he resides now in Vancouver and in Canada. So he works there, and he works with movies, with Hollywood. He works in so much stuff, designing monsters primarily. I will tell you, he is something. He's phenomenal. Lucas Cuenca is a phenomenal artists, and you know, just to give you an idea, because sometimes people seem like kind of like we come here to Instagram, Lucas, right there, Lucas Cuenca. You know, you can see his stuff. He, particularly when it comes about monsters, he designs everything, and he does amazing work. All right, it seems that we had a disconnect once again, which just happens for some reason. Whatever, it just happens. But hey, thank you for those who are watching still. In any case, going back to Tiamat here. Looks great. Of course, Cuenca did the job. Also, my good friend Mike Nahara, he's been painting stuff for... Mike Nahara just also recently painted was one of the painters that did an Esquivel. Bernardo Esquivel, them together, they team up and they did the what is it? The Joker that we talked about last week from Sideshow that was sculpted by Daniel Bell. They painted phenomenal. I think Nahara is fantastic. He has been doing a lot of the paint jobs for PCS for years. Even before they changed ownership, he was working with Macaluso, and then of course now working with Sideshow. He's also been working with Sideshow for years too. So he painted this piece, and I'm telling you, Mike did a fantastic job with the paint job. It really enhances the work of Cuenca for sure. It's great detail. Now, I will tell you, it's expensive, and I think it's super expensive. But the detail on this piece it's like I never seen. Of course, the most recent Tiamat that we had based on the cartoon that was released, the 1/10 scale statue that was released by Iron Studios, looks fantastic if you are into the cartoon stuff. But if you're into the more modern stuff, of course, the movie is coming soon. And we have seen the trailer, so there's a lot of desire for this, you know, for Dungeons and Dragons. This is like a resurgence of it. And this looks good, you know, like it looks great with the light up feature, the way he did the texture on the animal, the musculature, the dragon, the scales. It looks impressive. And yeah, it is expensive because of the size, perhaps too expensive for my liking, but also look at how wide it is. The depth is 37.5 inches. It's really, it's as wide as is in the pure arts piece that we just saw. And it's really big. You know, it's really big. Of course, it's scale-wise, it's not a quarter scale. I left it in the end because of the sheer size, not because of the scale. Because this dragon is super huge, so this will be like a 125 scale or something like that, or even more than that. But because this is a huge dragon, but believe me, it's an impressive piece. I even like the base. It's a simple base, but it really works fine because it really showcases the beast in all its glory. And look at those wings. Really amazing. And some people are saying that they will add this even as a collection to use this Tiamat to display with their Iron Studio stuff from Dungeons and Dragons. Some people are going to use this to display with other even smaller figurines and stuff from Dungeons and Dragons. So definitely this is a piece that you can showcase with your Dungeons and Dragons collection, and it's going to be super impressive. I love, again, Nahara did a fantastic job with that paint job. That paint job is just gold. When you're looking at it, the way it's done, it's gold. Look at that. Excellent in every angle, and definitely light up features. Now, you go for the regular, there's no light up feature, which, you know, at this price point, might as well just go for it, right? The exclusive, just to have the extra thing. Because the light up feature really with the different colors really enhances the view of this piece. This is an impressive piece. Expensive, no doubt. It is expensive and definitely not for the faint of heart. But when you're looking at what they have here, it's going to release according to this, between April and June of next year, which is kind of soon. I would say this is a very excellent piece, and I know a lot of people, particularly I have friends that they love dragon stuff from their collection. They love mythological creatures. Definitely they're going to love it. I think this is a piece that definitely is great. It's an awesome piece. I was planning to put it on the thumbnail, but unfortunately it didn't fit in because I had other things I wanted to put out. But believe me, this is a fantastic piece that deserves the love and the attention for sure. All right, my friends, let me look at the comments. If we have anything here in the next few minutes, if you have anything to say, please share that so we can actually come to the end, because it's been a fantastic day so far. So I'm waiting for some of your comments while I drink some water, and then we can I can share my final thoughts in regards to everything that we talk about today. All right, I'm looking here at the screen. Oh, well, okay. Coming to the end of the video, my friends, I want to say to all of you once again, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for sticking in this channel, supporting the channel. I wish I could do videos, singular videos like I was doing in the past of every collectible. And I will be able to edit the video and share my thoughts in a cleaner manner, simpler, and less convoluted perhaps. But I love the live video. I love to chat with you because also that, we can share ideas. I love when you share your ideas and your opinion, and we can discuss that. And there's really a lot to discuss. But I also loved your support. I thank you for that. Hopefully at some time in the future we're able to go back to what we used to do, or perhaps do things in a more professional manner, because that's what I wanted to do from the beginning with this channel. But time, some things work out, some things don't work out. But I appreciate that every Friday or every time we have the live video, you come and support. Where are you from? Where I'm from, well, I was born in Mexico, but I live in the United States. I live in America. Technically America is my second country. I'm Mexican American. But actually, well, I consider myself Mexican American because actually my mother is from Honduras, and her family also from El Salvador, so Central American. So technically I am a mix, but I have more connection with my Mexican side, with my dad's side. In any case, going back to what I was saying, the idea of what we do here, I appreciate your support over the years, the stuff that we have done in this channel. And I love the content. I wish I can go back to some of the content that we're doing in the past, but so far, the live video, it's kind of like the lifeline for this channel so far. And sometimes I do make some other videos. So stay tuned for some of my videos. This summer, went with the family out. We did a couple of things during the summer, some vlogs. And I've recorded, but I didn't finish it. I did the recording when I went to Michigan, but I didn't do the other. There's some other parts of the trip that I didn't share. So I'm going to have that. I want to work this weekend on those videos because I want it to be done now that I have more time. And hopefully I can get some stuff done next week and you can see some of those videos. But I also want to get back, as I mentioned earlier, some of the reviews. So be patient with me. In the meantime, we'll continue doing the live videos. And I really enjoy talking about this collectibles. This live videos allow me to really talk about a lot of things at the same time, which is really, really, really cool. Now, and be able to cover as much ground as possible. I think it's phenomenal, in one single video. How do you get into collecting, and what do you collect primarily? Well, how did I get into collecting? I got into collecting when I was I've been a collector all my life of all kind of things. The statues, I started collecting in the early 2000s. I went to a comic book shop, local comic book shop where I live, and it was 2001, 2002. And I fell in love with some of the stuff that I saw there, which was actually, I think my first piece that I saw was before DC Direct. So they have it was not DC Direct. It was because before that, it was DC stuff. So I saw a few statues that belonged to DC that actually was the Justice League animated stuff they were selling during that time. And I grabbed some of those statues. Also, I have some Warner Brothers stuff. And there were some Hard Hero stuff. So those are the first companies that I started collecting. And there were other things too. Atacus and other companies that were Star Wars stuff. So I collected a few things initially. And then I got married. So when I got married, I got rid of the stuff. I sold it. And I have nothing. But I was still collecting diecast stuff. Because I collect diecast. I collect a lot of stuff. You don't see a lot of stuff here because I have a lot of stuff is still packed in. But I have statues. I've been collecting diecast since probably even before I got married. At the same time I was collecting statues, I was collecting diecast models. I was collecting a lot of figures. Over the years, I collected everything. Back in the day when in the 90s, I collected comics. I collected, one of my biggest things to collect back then was the cards. I used to collect cards and action figures too. So I've always been a collector all my life, since I was a kid. I remember collecting toys, all of that, but statues, that's what I started with, statues. Then of course I got married, so I took a break for 5 years. When I was married, I wasn't collecting anything because I was also involved in ministry. with my wife. So then I started going back to in the 2007. Well, I think it was 2008, something like that. 2009, perhaps. I think 2009 is more accurate, perhaps even before that. That's when I started just going back to the statues. So I came back and that was when Sideshow was kind of big and a lot of things. So I started collecting Sideshow quarter scale stuff and comic stuff. It was 1/5 scale. And then it got too big. I was also collecting PCS before PCS with Jerry Macaluso. So I was collecting the Street Fighter stuff. Do you collect Gundam? I don't collect Gundam. I love Gundam stuff. I love Gundam video games and Gundam movies, but I do not collect Gundam figures. I don't. I've thought about it for time to time, but it's not something that I've done because, you know, I collect a lot of stuff that is not necessarily something that I necessarily, you know, have the space or time to do. But I do love Gundam. I love to play Gundam video games. I love to watch Gundam. But I don't collect the Gundam figures or the models. So no, I don't have time. I'll have to consider about doing models. But it's just perhaps one day I get the chance to start kind of going into it. But that's another rabbit hole that I don't want to get into because right now, you know, I'm in the statues, which primarily I do a lot of Marvel DC, which is my main stuff. I have Star Wars stuff, but it's mainly Marvel. I have some Transformers stuff, but primarily it's a lot of Marvel DC stuff. With action figures, I do collect, you know, I have Hot Toys. I collect Hot Toys. Primarily, of course, Marvel. I have some, you know, some other stuff that I do from Hot Toys. Anything that I like of pop culture, I might be able to collect. I collect action figures, regular action figures, primarily anything that is kind of retro feel. With there is NECA, Super 7, McFarlane toys. I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff. I love to collect that kind of stuff from NECA. Super 7, I love the stuff that they're doing recently. Also, Mattel stuff. I do collect Lego. I'm telling you, I collect a lot of things. You know, if you follow me on social media, you will see a lot of the things that I collect. Particularly, I post a lot of things that I collect. Lately, I've been collecting a lot of action figures. I've been collecting a lot of Transformers stuff, a lot of the G.I. Joe stuff. You know, it's so much stuff. You know, I'm just, I grew up, I was born in the 70s, but I grew up in the 80s and also the 90s. That's when I grew up. I was a kid of the 80s, a child of the 80s, and definitely a teenager of the 90s. So to me, I have a vast array of things that I love. I love comics, omnibuses, hardcover collections. I collect all of that. So definitely, there's something that sometimes my wife gets angry with me because they say, "Man, you're always getting stuff. You know, like you always have stuff." You know, I know she gets angry because I do collect a lot of things, but it's just the way I am. You know, it's just who I am. You know, and I love this stuff. You know, to be honest, I love Gundam, but so what do I collect in diecast? I collect in diecast models, primarily 1/18 models. So you know, like I have a lot of things boxed in, but everything that is diecast, primarily my scale is 1/18. So I collect anything, primarily vehicles. That's what I like, but also collect other things. Like for example, I just recently purchased the well, I'm waiting. That's gonna be the biggest diecast that I have now. The Star Trek. I pre-ordered the Star Trek to what is that for the Enterprise, which is gonna be like this. That's the biggest diecast that I'm gonna have. But other than that, everything that has to do with movies, you really go through my channel, you're gonna see that I've reviewed diecast here, so you can go through the videos. I have diecast. Some of the oldest videos that I have here were when I was reviewing like the Ghostbusters, Ecto 1, things like that. So I collect a lot of things. Friday nights, yeah. So what are you collecting, diecast? Friday nights. Thank you, my friend Late Night Trip. Yeah, they are something. But yeah, I do collect a lot of things. So, you know, just stay tuned. You can watch, you know, I have more than 1,000 videos in this channel. So I have reviewed so much stuff, you'll be surprised. In any case, my friends, I want to say to all of you, thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate that you have taken the time to watch this. Definitely, it's always a pleasure to do this video. Thank you for watching these videos with me. Definitely, this company's it's coming to the end of the video, giving you my final thoughts. You know, I'm already tired, so I'm ready to kind of crash. I got things to do tomorrow, and I want to really get some videos done and edited. So that's what I'm gonna concentrate tomorrow morning. You know, like do some of that stuff. But when I want to, and perhaps I do some live streaming on my gaming channel. Perhaps, I don't know. I've been thinking about it, going back to some of the stuff. I'm waiting for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the Kawabonga collection to hit next week, and maybe I live stream that one. I'm excited for that game. But in any case, coming to the end of the thing, I think I'm gonna retake some of the points that were taken early on by Late Night, which is about keeping a focus on your collection. And something as I mentioned here, like I have so many passions, which to me it's like it's hard for me to be focused on something, but at the same time it's important to have this focus. Like you cannot collect everything, but you can collect at least something out of something, or you can at least add something. So you have to kind of pick and choose your battles. Like for example, for me, in my case, when I was collecting Quarter Scale, I knew at some point that it was too much for me, because most of the stuff always end up packed in boxes. I couldn't display everything. So I knew right away that Quarter Scale wasn't for me, although I was already collecting it for a while. So I decided to limit myself to one particular scale, which was 1/6. And I've been doing that since probably the last 10 years or more. I've been just collecting 1/6 strictly. I haven't really deviated from that. I maintained that course. I don't change it. So I maintain that 1/6 scale that's it. And my main focus has been just to do Marvel and DC. And I don't get every character. I just get the characters that I love. For right now, I'm really concentrating on the Twitter head stuff, because I want to concentrate on the main DC, which is always the main Justice League. And that's what I want. And once that's done, I'll be done with it, and I love that, but also I've been collecting the Marvel stuff from Kotobukiya. Those are the two companies that I really collecting right now. And I love this stuff. I think those are the two companies, unless another company brings something similar to it. And I love everything that is comic accurate more than modern renditions. You don't see me collecting a lot of Marvel stuff. Now, if I collect like, anything based on the movies, it's not going to be in statues. It's going to be in like Hot Toys, things like I love the Hot Toys, but I don't collect every single Iron Man. I don't collect every single piece. I just want to collect one particular figure for one particular thing. So I collect a few because I know my limitations. So I'm not going to go beyond that. I'm just going to collect the things that I care the most. Now, and that's what I do. And, I concentrate on and I love also the 80s cartoons, which I grew up watching a lot of those 80 cartoons and anime. So to me, that's, I concentrate in trying to and collect some of those items, some of those things. But at some point I have just you have to kind of say, this is it. I cannot go beyond that, because then I'm going into this rabbit hole. Now, diecast has been a passion of mine for years, because it was a passion that was introduced by my dad. So something that have never really died for me, although I don't really collect as much diecast as I once did. I still do. And let me kind of give you an idea here, maybe. Here, even how much I did. As you can see right here, this is just a few diecast models that I have. And I do have like tons of these containers, like a bunch of them. And I have from all different vehicles. Everything that's 118, I have all the different vehicles for the Fast and the Furious. I have pretty much the whole collection. And, classic from the cinema, all that kind of stuff. And believe me, under that bed, I have like a bunch of containers, the same containers. I have like tons of them. Like all of the bed, all of it, the thing is this, I don't have that much space. So I try to utilize the space as much as possible, what I have, even on the closets and stuff. And, the attic, all of that stuff. My storage is is like to the point that I need to really have something different, another plan. But, I have it there. I don't have it on display anymore. I used to have a lot of things on display, but I love the cars from movies. I love muscle cars. I love the classic 1960s and 50s and 40s and 30s. I love important cars in history. Anything that has on television, movies, all of that. I love that. I used to also put do a lot of diecast models. I love boats. I love miniature stuff. I love a lot of stuff. You know, this is my thing. You know, I love everything. I'm always been fascinated by small stuff. And statues and art is something that I'm passionate about. But sometimes I take a break from some things. Like that's happened with the diecast. You know, I have taken a break. Recently, I got into more, started getting into Lego stuff that I've been thinking about. Start doing Lego, but it's more because I like to do things with my hands. And sometimes, you know, like I just doing stuff, buying statues is cool and all, but I also like to kind of be creative. So I feel that Lego also offers that. And I think Lego's been doing amazing stuff lately. Although I'm not going to be like a hardcore Lego collector ever. And I'm never going to be like, oh, I have to have everything. I only have a few sets where I put together and that's about it. I don't need more than that. Yeah, that's a challenge for all of us. Space. Yeah, space is always going to be a challenge. And, you know, I've been through situations where I have to sell stuff just because I didn't have the space for it anymore. Or because I felt that was not what I wanted. You know, there's, for example, I wish right now, personally, I've been wanting to add, like, cabinets here. Like, I want to be adding, like, arcade 1-ups to my room. But I don't have the space, and it's not like I have the money, but I don't have the space. And it would be, I think I want to get a bigger home with a bigger space, but right now it's just a plan. It's a desire. And you know, right now with the housing market, everything that is going crazy, like I know I can sell this house and make good money out of it, but then the problem is going to be, where am I going to go, right? Particularly where I live, it's definitely, the market is really high in the sense that the houses are extremely expensive, and the demand is super high. So trying to find a house is hard. Selling a house is easy. Trying to buy a house in this area is hard because there's no homes. You know, there's the construction is selling so quickly, and the price is super is ridiculous right now. So right now I'm just content for what I am. I'm gaining value on this home, but I've been thinking, and I think that's something my wife and I have been praying lately. It's like, you know, we perhaps get a bigger home, but at the same time I'm comfortable where I'm at, you know. But yeah, I definitely, that's my dream. It's perhaps in the next year or two is just to get a bigger home. That's what we're planning in this area where I work, I live, you know, and I have a good job. My wife has a good job. And definitely our home, it really has served a purpose for the years that I've lived here. I raised my daughter here. She's already grown and going. She's already married. But right now, it's just, technically this room was hers and now it's mine. But that's just the way it is. Yeah, I'm into Lego as well, unfortunately. Yeah, I do love Lego. I think what I love, hey, Batman. What I love about Lego is because you can put things together. I love the challenge of getting things together. And I have a few sets that I need to put together. And I still unbox, and I haven't unboxed, but I've been thinking about putting it together. Maybe I do a live stream when I'm doing it, or just simply make a video out of it. But at the same time, where to put it? You know, this is the thing. I'd rather keep things in boxes because I don't know where to put it. And I've been thinking about doing something downstairs, because downstairs I also have a desk area, my own area, where I work with my computer as well. And I have a lot of stuff where I work there. And I've been thinking about creating like some type of setup where I stand, where I can start putting all the statues that I need to set there, and maybe do Lego stuff there. I don't know. So it's all in the plans, but my goal or my ambition is to have my own man cave at some point. It's always been the struggle for years, where I can just do everything that I want to do, set up the stuff. You know, believe me, you'll be surprised about the stuff that I love. You know, I was into, as a kid, I was into trains. My dad loved to build trains and create miniature stuff, like build boats and stuff. I love a lot of things. You know, to me, it's like I'm gonna need a museum size house in order to have everything I want. But you know, I think that's the dream of everyone. Everybody would love to do such a thing. But you know, I don't fret, I don't lose hope, I don't lose sight of things. I don't get sad if I don't get certain things done. I just do what I do and enjoy what I have. And when I get tired of something, I just get rid of it too. I sell it and I move on. That's just I think that's the simpler solution. What do you think about the Kucharix Brothers Venom? Well, I talked about it before. I like it. I do like it, but I love the K-Bros, you know. I do like, I'm friends with them, you know. I met them many years ago, and I always love what they do. I think the Venom is excellent. I think everything the K-Bros do is excellent. Sometimes some things more than others, but there's no denying, you know. I've been following the K-Bros since they were doing stuff with Bowen, and those were some of my favorite Bowen pieces were from the K-Bros. So yeah, Brian is an excellent, particularly Brian is the one that talks the most on social media, but yeah, they're great. You know, I think it's an excellent piece. You cannot go wrong with it. Also with the carnage they did, the whole thing they have done, you know, it's excellent. I love what they do, and I love they're busy. I'm hoping that they now that they're doing the stuff with Kotobukiya, which is the 1/6 scale for me, hey, that would be nice if they do a Venom 2 or even a Spider-Man for Kotobukiya, because we need one. I had the ones from Eric Sosa, which I love when they came out. They were good, you know, and I sold for profit, for a really good profit. I sold that Spider-Man. I think I make good money with it. Didn't pay much for it, but I sold it for a lot of money after a few years. And also Venom. I think that Venom I did an exchange, but I seen Venom going for crazy prices now, and it's a fantastic piece too. But of course, I think the problem with that is that, you know, that was they were great for their time. Now I think they can be improved, and I think the K-Bros can do even a better job. And with the way things are coming out from right now from Kotobukiya, I think the quality can be up there. So I would love to see that. But yeah, anything that they do is fantastic. It's just, unfortunately, I prefer 1/6. I prefer 1/6 over a quarter scale. That's just my personal choice. Yeah, Batman Legos are pricey for what I've seen. JP, the struggle is real. Yeah, it is real. I was like, today I was looking. I've been wanting to do. I have the. I saw today. I was at Target, and I saw the. What is that though? The Ecto one. And it wasn't, the Ecto one was like $200 and almost $300 there. The set, I was like, what? I think on the website, when it was on the website, it was less than $200. Now it's more expensive at Target. But I was thinking, man, I want that. But at the same time, it's like, man, I want it, but do I want to pay that much money for that when I have other statues to pay? I don't know, but eventually I will get it. I want to get that one. That's it. But first I need to do Optimus, and then when I do Optimus, then I'm gonna get that one. And also I want to maybe the Batmobile. Who knows? There's a few pieces there's few that have been roaming around, and I'll get one. All right, my friends, I think it's time for me to go. Definitely I'm tired. I'm exhausted and need to rest. And I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for talking to me tonight. Hopefully it was entertaining for you. You know, again, like in the future, I will have the times. Tomorrow, you'll have the timestamps if you want to go back. If you didn't get the chance to watch the entire video, you can go back and choose the little segments where I'm gonna, you know, talk about certain things that you're more interested on. But my friends, I want to say to all of you, have a great night. Thank you for the constant support. I appreciate that you definitely are here with me all the time. I hope, you know, but yeah, I was thinking maybe to do some live stream tomorrow on my gaming channel. I'm not sure if I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it. Definitely that's something that I haven't really done. I haven't really done much support there. But yeah, definitely I want to do you know, I want to start maybe doing some live streamings on the gaming channel again, and maybe start doing some reviews, so only time can tell. But my friends, thanks for watching. God bless. Take care. And